watch the fire. You just sit there, and the tiger trying to run into it. That'd be a funny video where you just like it's like just you chill. He like gets up and you have him on a leash, and right before he gets, you just pull him down. Yeah, yank that mother.
When I do like extreme sports though, when I come back home, I have trouble sleeping. So shout outs to Feels, who sponsored this video, because they sent me some good old CBD oil, and you know, it just takes a few drops to put under the tongue. Or like what I like to do is I'll make some turmeric tea or something, go boop, 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 and then like I would drink that, because if I don't, what ends up happening is like my heart is like racing still after I come back from the mountains, and I'm just kind of just, it's difficult to sleep. But thanks to Feels now, I get to, you know, chill out at the end of the day, and I get to change my feels and transition into a nighttime kind of routine, and it's pretty cool.
So what Feels is, if you guys don't know, it's a premium CBD delivered directly to your doorstep, and Feels offers a free CBD hotline too to help guide your personal experience, especially if it's your first time and you want to try it out. So they got real human support, and it works naturally to help you feel better. There's no high, hangover, or addiction. So join the Feels community, get Feels delivered to your door every month. You'll save money on every order, and you can pause or cancel anytime. Feels has me feeling my very best every single day. It can help you too. Become a member today by going to feels.com/offtherecord to get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's FEALS.com/offtherecord. Become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. That's feels.com/offtherecord.
Off the record.
Yeah, I really enjoy like being more physical and being more in the outdoors. Like, and I think that's kind of cool too. Like, I don't know if Taika stumbled upon video games or anything yet, but like if we go outside right now and like even if we're just throwing a sock against the wall or something, I think he just likes being active. So I think like people with a lot of energy, it just helps them out to like exercise the body and not just like the mind. Because I think video games, like for sure, you're like your mind is really stimulated, but I think you also have like a ton of pent-up energy that you need to just like.
How do you manage that in a healthy way? So he's gonna get to the age where all his friends, where he meets friends,
And they all play video games.
So how do you manage that in a healthy way going into it, like years ahead, like you know?
When did you guys become like homebodies and played games and stayed online all day? Like, did you ever get to that phase? Because I did.
I was that when I first got when Halo 3 came out. So before that, we always had video games. We played a lot. We would do all these different things, but it was a mix of going outside and doing those, like everything. But then, so especially during say high school, when all my friends and everyone else, like this was junior high school, they were playing sports. I was alone, just video games. It was literally like lifting and video games.
Well, at least you did the lifting part. I completely stopped becoming active around late junior year. And then from then on, I guess the only time I would go out is like for skating. But still, we didn't do it that much, you know? Yeah. Like, I used to go out every day in elementary school, like, and play outside and bike, and then like bike from miles, dude, and it was different.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I never got to that phase because also I think when I sit in front of a computer screen too long, I just get a headache.
Oh.
So even, you know, like I think if I went to play Counter-Strike back in the day with like, you know, when you go in those like PC bottles, like those computer rooms, I would play like an hour or two, and then I would just go outside. Everyone else was playing like 8 hours.
Yeah, it's addicting. Like we were doing all-nighters playing Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Or like before that it was GTA, or like just downloading games and then chatting and then drugs and jacking off and like repeat over and over. And I remember staying up for days back in the day. Yeah. Like that's when I got hooked. Like as soon as I had online access, I had a computer, I was just home all the time. I stopped going out. And I stopped sleeping at night. I would wake up at like, I don't know, 3 p.m. Yeah. And then I would be up until like 9 a.m. Yeah. So I was on that club boy hour.
Damn. Yeah, I think for me, I always had something active. I think like before junior high, it was like you go to your friend's house, hey, it's who so home, and you guys ride bikes or rollerblade. And then I think in junior high, my mom would drop me off at school early to match her work hours, and I would just shoot basketball. So basketball became like the hang around thing. So I think I always had that. And then I think once I got hella into drums, it was just drumline. So it's almost like playing a sport. So I never really got into the phase of just like being inside for a long time.
We had a community pool, like in our apartments. Yeah. So then, like, all the time, like, every single day for hours, like 5 6 hours, we just be at the pool.
Oh, that's pretty tight.
Yeah, that was fun. And then it wasn't, like, much else besides, like...
Maybe that's why you like Hawaii.
Yeah?
You love the water.
I love water, too.
And then, other than that, it was, like, maybe football here and there, but not much else. Like, not like when we were kids, we literally just running on the bike, doing everything.
Yeah. I think the tough part with this generation is going to be... I think in my generation, it was kind of like a choice. Like, do you want to be online and play games or play video games, or do you want to be going around doing active stuff? But it does seem like most kids are doing like video games or online. So to achieve that balance, I think it is going to be difficult. Especially if like let's say you got 5 homies and they all want to be online all day. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's fun though, man.
It is fun, I know.
I don't know. I think that there's a good balance between the two though, because you can learn so much like about your outdoor shit. Like I'm learning about like riding my motorcycle or like my mountain bike, and then technique, and then I take it outdoors and then I'm practicing that.
I do miss being a kid again. I'm trying to make that like my adult life like how I missed out.
Trust me, I got to do that 2020, and I was like, dude, this is dope, because I was able to achieve all the childhood kind of things and then bring it back and then expand on it. And it's almost like waking up that 8-year-old in you that's like, oh, fuck yeah, I've been waiting to do this again. It's fun, man.
What are some of the things that you feel like you didn't get enough of when you want to do?
I think like, say group activities, I did like get injured and like just fell in love with the gym. And it was fun. So that's why powerlifting is big for me, because of the community.
Yeah.
But I think finding something like that again, or just being, because now like I get tired of being outside. Like I want to find something like my own activity that is like my niche that I really like. Whether even like I was big into like archery or like random weird shit.
That's tight.
Yeah. So it's like finding that, but it's like now being so close in the city, how do I escape the city? Even though I love the city. So it's like I have to actually venture out to do these things.
There's an archery spot near you that does it for free.
Really?
Yeah, they teach classes and shit. I don't know if they're doing it now, but Devin took me out and a long time ago. And yeah, they just have a bunch of, you just sign up, and then I think it's like LA Archery or some simple ass name that I shouldn't forget. Yeah.
And I just don't get how people get into those things where it's like, maybe they look at us weird for getting into powerlifting, but I'm like, how do people get into like paintballs and that's all they do every day, and they get into like these clubs and stuff? But I'm like, you just gotta do it.
Yeah, they probably do it and get addicted.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to get to where Joe's at, where I'm just a kid again. Because I have a kid, that's kind of hard. But I think I'm like a year or 2 away from doing it. Because then I think once he is able to, because right now he's just too dumb.
Yeah.
So like right now, like I don't even think I can trust him with a pellet gun.
Yeah.
But once I can,
Of course you can.
then I can like shoot with them in the backyard, or if I can.
So you're gonna tag on his fun.
Yeah, because I want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, like once he can because I saw this video of a dad snowboarding with a baby or his kid, and they were just kind of carving together, and I'm like, oh, that's so tight. But then I looked it up, and it said like they don't recommend anyone under 5 doing it, just because it takes so much balance.
I seen like I think someone as young as Taika
On a snowboard?
I was there crying because I almost broke my ankle, and a little baby, I swear to God, she was like this big.
360.
Like she couldn't even think. She was just going down like this, and then her dad was like following her out.
I think like maybe I should just try it and take him. But I did take him to what is it? We went to Big Bear, and then the sleds. So I had to convince him like crazy to get on because he was deathly afraid. But after the first ride, he was like, again. So I think.
Did you have to have him on your lap?
Yeah, I put him on my lap.
I think he has to pass that age because I saw the vlog where he touched the snow and it was cold in his hand and just started crying and just freaked out. So he has to get past that.
He touched the rock.
No, the snow.
Because he's like Gio, like the part where Gio hates the cold. Taika's like that too.
Oh.
Yeah, he hates.
Super sensitive to the cold.
Yeah, he touches the cold and it's like the worst thing in the world. But I think I'm like literally a year away from like us doing exactly the same shit. Mountain biking, snowboarding, all that stuff. So I'm really happy.
Hello. How are you? What's your name?
Hey, what's up, player?
Oh.
It's good, dog.
Oh.
How you doing? You see my ring?
Yeah.
Hands so yellow with that voice.
Yellow for that
Yeah,
voice.
yellow, man.
The yellow hand, the different voice.
Start the episode, man.
Oh, I'm starting. That's why I'm asking you questions and just I want to get to know you.
Who called me yellow?
Did you guys ever watch that children's show? They put eyeballs here.
Sock? I used to hate that fool.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Anthony Lee is here.
You better. I hate puppet shows. Damn. Hey, you didn't even like Mr. Rogers or anything? With like Daniel, that used to piss me off, man. Like Elmo, Sesame Street. Well, that's different. That's legit. That's like the TV puppet shows are okay. Kermit the Frog.
Sock puppets is what you
sock puppets and like the string puppets and like
The
marionette.
That's what they're called. Marionette.
Oh, they were so ugly. Yeah.
Well, don't worry, Joe. I'm gonna
Pinocchio?
save you, Joe. You know why? Because this story has nothing to do with it.
Thank God.
So this story actually involves a luxury hotel that's opening
Oh, I want a hotel. Where?
in South Africa,
Oh, I like South Africa.
and it's this unique luxury resort that sits partially on a historic bridge that's over a river in Kruger National Park.
I only know Cape now.
I love that.
There's a broken train on a bridge?
So this train permanently sits on this train track now.
Oh, it's broken.
But back in the day, they used to come into this bridge, and then they would station there for like a night or a couple nights.
On the bridge?
Yeah, on the bridge. And then like people will like go and explore whatever, so explore the park, and then like come back, and then the train will leave. But now this train
It's never leaving.
is never leaving.
That's cool.
My question is, what if they need to deliver something and another train comes and they're like, sorry, we're just parked here forever, and they're like, fuck, man, how are we gonna get these bananas to Cape Town and shit?
You know, they didn't think of that.
Yup.
They really didn't consider that.
And the other train that's coming is like a freshly new renovated train hotel. She's like, get out the way, old guy.
Hey, look at that shit, that's a train!
So it has
Wow.
24 carriage rooms.
I like that.
That's crazy nice.
Yeah, and then did you guys notice what's hanging off the side?
What?
Oh! That's a jacuzzi. So you could be in the jacuzzi fishing at the same time.
Yeah, because they're staying underneath the train, because like I said, it's over a river. That's where you could see like hippos and like.
Whoa, don't catch a hippo.
So it's like an exotic river. It's kind of like
Yeah,
exotic animals.
It's a park. It's a national park.
Yeah.
Kruger National
Hippos
Park.
are pretty cute, but did you know they're ferocious?
One of the most ferocious
I
animals.
see Instagram videos of them all the time crushing watermelons and they're like fucked up teeth.
Yeah.
They only got 4 little ears though.
Yeah. With a little tail, when there's a fly on it, they shake it out.
Well, tell me about crocodiles then, because you can also see crocodiles and also buffaloes and elephants.
So, I didn't know Africa had buffaloes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about Lion King buffaloes. I was thinking American bison.
Water buffaloes, probably.
Yeah, those guys. Oh, they're not that cute.
But the American ones are cute.
American ones are cute.
Like the ones that used to shoot on Oregon Trail.
Buffalo. That's just the shit.
Yeah, so like I said, you know how I said like back in the day, and stuff? That was in the early 1920s.
They would leave the train on the bridge, and they think people just walk off
On the bridge and walk around. They don't care about safety back then.
Why did they walk from one car to the other car?
Like the Hogwarts Express.
Maybe there's one end. Oh, because back back then they knew how to fly broomsticks, so they just jumped off of the train and then they
This
flew.
definitely is not a traveler. He must live nearby.
Different broomsticks, yes.
Yeah, that's true.
This was a very busy
It's just the
trip.
theme of the broomstick ride, yeah.
Yeah, so they're also saying that so they have the Big Five at this park.
Sporting goods?
Lions, leopards, rhinos, elephants, and African buffaloes.
Wait, there's a big five? I don't know if I want to go camping in Africa.
Oh, shit.
Because we would hunt the big five?
Originally, it was a hunting store.
Is that why it's called Big Five?
Maybe. What's the big five again?
Why is Target called Target?
Shoot them. I thought it was because it's like football, soccer, basketball, football.
Or hunting, maybe?
I don't know, yeah. Oh, it's about, because if you go to Big Five, what do you got? You got the fucking bodyboards, you got the shoes, you got the baseball, soccer,
Some clearance Nike items.
hunting shit.
I mean, they got everything, but everything kind of sucks a little bit.
You got like work/dress shoes in the back.
Yeah, you can't get dress shoes, too.
They're like work dress shoes.
You got a lot of knives.
A lot of nice. Couple baseball tees.
I'm down with that. Fishing stuff.
Not a lot of fishing stuff. I used to work at Big Five. It's my second job ever.
Big league shoes.
No, where the name comes from.
Yeah, giraffes, football, soccer, football.
Nice. But
Yeah,
yeah,
when I hear that, I'm like, man, I forget how there's so many predators, like animals in the. We just gotta watch out for like bears, right? So out here, I'm just like, I'll go camping. Because, when am I gonna run into
but
like?
you're in a train here.
No, but like when I hear that, I'm like, I wanted to go camping in Africa, but I forgot they got lions, they got tigers.
That's why you gotta go on like a safari where you don't actually camp, but you stay in like a cage, and then you just like
Yeah.
take videos of people either or like animals either eating each other or like having
People
sex.
eating each other.
But I want to like camp, like in a tent.
Or you gotta pitch a tent in like a tree where only a giraffe who's like an herbivore can sit.
Jaguars climb trees, dude.
Fuck, bro,
Yeah,
you're making it difficult right now. What do you want?
Have you guys seen that one,
Gorillas climb trees.
Then stay in a train, Joe. Just stay in a luxury hotel train.
Nah, but the
Where-
hippo's gonna jump up and get him on the broomstick.
So, in case you guys were wondering, the prices start, like the rates, they start from about $520 per night per person.
damn,
It includes meals, house drinks, and 2 daily game drives for you to go out and see
A
animals.
safari?
Yeah.
No thanks.
And then so, okay, well don't worry, Jeff. They made it for other people too. So,
You don't want to go on safari. It's so expensive.
He's trying to camp out there in the perfect place where gorillas and jaguars can't get you.
Gotcha.
you have gorillas now?
Okay, picture this. You go out, 10 ways to die from an animal. You're riding a golf cart, right? You pay $500 to risk your life? Come on, that doesn't sound like a deal to me.
$440?
Hell yeah.
Talk a different story.
But 500? Come on, man. You're out there, the safari ride. Fuck that. I'd rather go to Disneyland where it's safe. You and then they fucking do the blow darts at you. And you gotta go
Jungle
like,
Cruise?
oh shit, yeah, the jungle cruise.
Electric animals.
Unless they improve them, like that robotic dolphin we saw. That'd be tight.
I'm down with that.
So the resort's name is Kruger.
You're not trying to get bit by the crocodile.
Just going up and down.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But yeah, the name of this place is called Kruger Shalati, and Shalati is the name of an African warrior queen who, according to the legend, was one of the first female warrior chiefs of the small Tabula clan, part of the Tsonga tribe that lived in the bush around there. And so, yeah, they're saying that the national park itself, the Kruger National Park, is one of the largest game reserves in all of Africa, covering 2 million hectares? How do you say that?
Hectares.
Hectares. No, wait, no.
It's not hectares? It's hectares. It's like acres, right?
Yeah, it's like 8. Oh, yeah, you're right, hectares. I thought you were kidding. But yeah, you're right.
literally 2 million Mexicans in the whole.
That's why I thought he was
2
kidding.
million, man! You see, we could fit one more. 2 million, 1 hectares? Nah.
My mother died when I was a kid. It inspired me to become a doctor. Then COVID hit, nobody's ever seen anything like COVID. You feel hopeless. My best friend's father died of COVID-19. Then my father caught it.
How do they measure it? Oh, they just used to get 50 Mexican guys, and they're like, that's 50 hectares right there. Oh, shit. How about acres? They just got a bunch of Irish guys or something. I don't know.
There's a shortage of hectares all over the world.
It's fucking funny. Anyway, so it's filled with hundreds of animal species as well as cultural heritage and archaeological Stone Age sites. So it sounds like a cool place to go. I really want to visit it.
That's a 50-hectare farm right there. They have to travel in like big buses. If they're getting a land survey and shit when they're dividing up the land, how much is this piece of property? 20 hectares.
Bring in the hectares.
Bring them in. And they all assemble.
Actually, 17.
It's 18 hectares.
You know, there's a difference between acres and hectares. I forgot what it was.
Metric. The hectares are the metric.
Metric version of
For
it.
the British?
Oh, like the metric system.
For the Spanish.
Yeah, so it is a metric unit of square measure equal to 100 ares, which is 2.4 acres or 10,000 square meters.
How do you spell? I don't know any of those.
HECTARE.
Hectare is a fucking half Mexican, half bull. It's like a centaur.
Yeah, Mexican mythology.
Is he Mexican from the waist down? I don't know. I'm dying. His waist down? It's like a cholo with shorts that go to his ankles and he's wearing Cortez. And it's a horse at the
Oh,
top.
that's Mexican American. Different culture.
Sorry. All right. It's a guy with cowboy boots and long
Snake boots.
snake boots
Snakeskin.
and a big Mexican flag belt.
Someone gotta draw a hectare and tag me then.
Yo. But like hundreds of them holding hands across South Africa.
2 million hectares.
So dumb. And,
So short in my head.
yeah, they all have to have mustaches too.
Hello guys, thank you guys so much for watching all of our videos. And I know it's been a million years in the making, but we finally got Just Kidding News merch. So make sure you go down to the store below and you can you get a piece of JK News. Thank you guys for supporting.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Chicken wing, pancake, onion ring. We are America's Kitchen. DoorDash, every flavor moment.
Did you guys know that Google Maps has a thing called a timeline? Your timeline?
What the fuck?
Like a places of where you go,
Yeah.
and then and then if you had
It
photos,
tracks
like
everywhere you go.
And they sell it to advertisers? Say it ain't so, Casey. Really?
What? That I don't know.
I guarantee
And
it.
that's so scary.
They don't have something called Google AdSense, do they?
Exactly.
Because what I like is, well, not for Google Maps, but Apple Maps, like, they know that every, X day, as soon as I get in my car, it loads up, it's going to take 15 minutes to get back home, or it takes this to get to this place.
Google Maps does
It already knows
It
where
already
you're gonna
knows,
go.
yeah, your routine.
And they're like, you're parked here. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know this shit?
Yeah.
So if anyone
Follow me
I don't
around.
mind that.
if anyone wanted to assassinate me, so what they'll do is they'll get that information, and they could be like, oh, he's probably going to be here.
No one can ever catch your pattern though, dude. You're so fucking random.
Well, how come Google Maps knows? If they just put
Because you went there.
they could just put a trail of laptops with porn to wherever they
That's how they'll get me. You might get Saddam, but you won't the only way. See, but you gave him the secret.
Sorry. He's like, oh, well, laptop with pork. Oh, it does laptop with pork.
Well, in India, there is a man, a 49-year-old married man, who is now blaming Google Maps and looking to take legal action against Google. And
Because his wife caught him cheating and tracked him that way.
well, the cheating, not for sure, not for certain, but Google timeline, your timeline, Google Maps, whatever, has zigzag patterns of where he's going every single day, and the wife is like, where the fuck are you going? Like, that is not the places you should be going to.
What if he's an Uber driver? What if he uses Waze and they only does zigzags?
Oh, yeah, it's like trying to reroute him and stuff. Maybe he's trying to work against traffic.
That's an underrated bit, actually.
That's really good.
Waze sends you all the fuck over the place.
Everywhere.
And I wonder if he ever used that excuse, because that's a pretty good one. But basically, what this guy is saying is that Google Maps is glitching, and it's placing him in places he's not actually at.
Good one for him.
And now he's looking to sue Google. And
Can I hear your defensive Indian man accent?
No, Bart. Let me hear your Indian man accent.
No, but I just hear an Indian guy being defensive and it just sounds funny.
We need David here.
Oh, I feel like you hear this voice in your head, so I feel like you got it. I think you got it.
Nah.
David's good.
He's Indian? Yeah, he's in India. And so like,
You could be a white guy in India. I get what you're saying.
well, for the last few months, my wife has been constantly scanning your timeline feature on Google Maps and refuses to let me sleep. And she questions where I was. She is constantly thinking about this, is getting affected and affecting the rest of the family too. And so basically he's mad at Google for messing up his marriage. And now he's trying to like take, in my opinion, I feel like he's fucking doing some shady shit, yes. And he's not letting go of his story.
I love how the wife found a feature. Like, that's just what the lengths women will go to catch fucking shady fucking husbands.
Use Google Maps.
That they like find features that Google was like trying to keep under wraps. You know what I mean? That's a big
Women sign up to become detectives.
right. We are good. We find
Have
everything.
you guys heard that Chris Rock bit where he's like, women are like cops, they'll interrogate the fuck out of you, but really they just want the confession. Like they don't, they're gonna fucking hit you and add question, but until you fucking say you did it, they're gonna be like, I know you say you did it, and then it's like, just say you did it, it'll be fine if you say you did it. Just say you did it, it's fine. And then once you say you did it,
It's all
they're like,
fucking
oh, I can't believe you did it. I didn't know until you said it. I didn't know until you said it out loud.
They would make good detectives.
We would.
When you guys were little, wouldn't you admit to crimes just because adult is so angry at you and they keep saying that you did it even though you didn't do it, just so you feel like you get all out of trouble?
Blessings to you, Lex.
Like in
I am
elementary
Zoe,
school.
daughter of
I think
Artemis.
by the
Thanks
time
for
it
freeing
was
me
like
from the stone
4th
dwellers
grade,
earlier.
I was fighting to the death.
Same.
You seem
Yeah,
to be in
maybe
a tight
4th or
spot.
5th grade.
I believe it,
I
bro.
was
If
outnumbered.
it's
No
not
room to
true,
run.
then I'm gonna fight
Now
till the
that I'm
death.
free,
Like,
Until
Climb
if
out of the
truth
valley
comes
down.
up here at teacher
My
conference,
four-legged brothers and
and there's a
sisters,
piece of
the
paper
woodland creatures.
that was like, hey, did your mom see
Stone dwellers
this?
have
And I'm
many
like, yeah, she
weapons and
signed it. And my
defenses.
mom like, that's not my
That's why I need
signature.
my
I would
furry
be there
friends.
with my mom. And
Will
I'm
you
like,
free?
you don't remember you signed this, mom?
Animals
It's
should not be
obviously,
tamed.
it's my
I knew
handwriting.
what kindred
I'm
spirits
fighting
are
to
with
the
us.
Okay, I didn't do that.
I'm talking about like that one thing
My
really tired
courage
or 6 or like,
is in the deforest.
because if you're under, you're like under 6 or something,
We're
you
still
think
innocent.
that, where you think like if you just say what they want you to say, you'll actually not be in trouble.
Yeah.
And then I think that's when you learn that you're gonna get in trouble if you
This
actually
must be
admit to it.
You tell me the truth, I will beat your ass. And you tell the truth, they beat your ass.
Oh, okay.
It makes you want to lie even more.
Oh yeah.
No, or even you actually lied to make them happy and you didn't do it.
Dude, it's like torture, honestly. Like, a lot of torture is proven that you just coerced, like, bullshit out of them.
Yeah, like
Because
how
they don't want...
they proven like when they
These
torture
wolves will
terrorists and
want
stuff like
blood
that,
once released.
they
I
didn't
should be
know
careful.
or they'll out people that are terrorists. They'll just say like, yeah, it was my buddy Nadeem over there.
No.
You want your list? I got it. Like we just want to stop you treating
Yeah, I just wanted to stop.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that. Like if I was being framed, like I would like fight against it really hard. But if I actually did the fault, I would say nothing and like literally plead the fifth. I'm just like,
Yeah, but what if they're torturing you and they're pulling out fingernails?
No.
You better sell me out.
My mom didn't do that. I would bring my siblings with me. Like, none of us would talk, like, about, like, whatever, like...
Drag you out, girl.
No. We all stood in a line, and, like...
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were. And then my mom was, like, she had her wooden spatula, like, which one of you did this? And then all of us are just standing in line, we're just like...
Wow.
And then she was like, fine, no one's gonna talk. And then so she like smacked us with like the spatula, and it broke. So you made me break my wooden spatula, and it's you. And she like put it to the floor. She grabbed another spatula, and she like just made me break this one. Yeah.
That's like I'm waterboarding you, and I'm like, hey, stop spilling all over my fucking towel. God damn it. Just washed it.
I would be so proud of all my kids if they stood in line. They'll be like, which one of you fuckers talk? And they'll be, I'll tell you, Daddy. And I'm like, oh, God, you're back here. You slow down your siblings like that? Afterwards? Yes. Bitch ass bitch.
Afterwards, did you guys punish your own? Like, was like the older brother or the older sister like, I took that one for you, but you fucked up?
Like, what the? No.
God, you guys are really close.
Yeah, you guys are civil.
Damn.
Civilized.
Who usually fucks up the most?
Your sister.
My sister, she got older, but like, I don't know.
Was it first your brother?
Then it's you. If you don't know, my brother wasn't that big of a troublemaker. I think that incident that we lined up, it was my fault. But I didn't want to say shit because your mom.
The spoon one was you?
Damn, your brother and sisters really loved you.
Yeah, they did.
They're like, we gotta protect the baby.
I wish I had that.
That's tight, man.
Yeah.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah.
My brother couldn't wait to beat my ass because I got Yeah, dude.
That was my sister, dude. No, I definitely had the younger sibling treatment because, like...
What is that? The younger sibling?
I get away with a lot of shit.
But in my book, that's everybody beat your ass. That's the younger sibling treatment.
I don't know. I got away with a lot of shit, and then if they ever tried to beat my ass, I would cry to my mom, and my mom would punish them. So
Maybe it's different.
It's because the older kids had it the worst because the parents are like, we're going to parent you, I guess. And by the time they get to you, they're chill.
Yeah.
Well, you think your little brother got it easier?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I feel like they completely let go of my little brother, and I got coddled and like everything.
Me too, dude. They made me fucking pass math and shit, and I hated math. And then my little brother failed math, and then he got to go to a different school.
Whatever.
Yeah, they're like,
Wait, are you middle or
I'm the second oldest.
second oldest?
And then there's two younger brothers on me.
When your day is too post-worthy.
Underneath me.
Yeah, because I think as parenting goes, like with your next children, you eventually figure out like, they'll be all right eventually. They'll figure it out. Life is gonna hit them hard, at certain stages of their lives, and they'll
These
figure it out.
wolves will want blood
My parents
once
would not
released.
let me fail math, but they let my little brother fail math. It's not fucking nice.
Yeah, because my brother said that my parents were crazy strict, and
I'm a friend
he
of
hated
Jesus.
them and like all that.
And he's like 12 years old.
But I don't doubt it either because he's the first son. He's like the male of the family, you know? Like,
And I'm the first daughter.
no, but I'm just saying that like they're a lot stricter on the older.
I mean, in some JQ videos,
So he would want to know that all the wolves are free.
Well, they also do this thing. I mean, dude, 12 years apart, that's like, hey, let's do this again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's do it over.
Yeah, like, we need a do-over. Like, I don't know if I like this thing.
For sure, like me and Sif have a kid, and it's 12 years because I think 12.
Oh, shit.
I think we're gonna be way more chiller on the new kid than because like with Isaac, it was just like we were young parents too, so we're just kind of like I don't know what we're gonna do the right thing. I don't know, So now it's like fuck it, he'll figure it out.
It's so funny to imagine Isaac sitting in his room, and he's like, man, this new kid has it so easy as he plays fucking Xbox One.
You don't know how good you got it, kid.
I heard it's so rough. He's like, hang on, I want to play Nintendo Switch now.
You see this kid? This is when we were in Japan.
Yeah.
You got to go 5 times. I only got to go once.
He's like, oh, wait, hold on. No, wait, that's actually when I was in China. Japan pictures over there.
So does this guy even have a case? Because I feel like when you download Google Maps, like you agree to their terms and conditions, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he has a case or not, but the local police in India have said, they told the news outlets, they're saying like, well, we have this written complaint,
But the likeliest solution that we're gonna do is just bring the married couple into the station, and we'll just do a little counseling.
I got a question. Is it racist when... I know Blar agrees with me, but is it racist when something normal happens, but just because the characters are replaced by a different culture is funnier? Nope. Explain.
Yeah. I don't want to assume anything.
For example, right? Alright, like...
Are you imagining all these cops wearing leather sandals? Because that's what I was imagining. I thought that's what you're saying.
The leather woven sandals?
Yeah.
You know, you guys laugh, but there's a fucking picture of a drug smuggler that was caught in Vietnam, and the soldiers were wearing flip-flops with fucking camouflage, and they had guns on. Like, just like this.
Those are the guys you gotta be fucking scared for.
I pictured, you know the Just Soul guy, the Indian guy that went viral? He does all those funny, like, videos. I pictured, like, a team of those dudes as cops. Okay, no, so what I'm trying to say is, like, okay, so let's say an incident like this happens in the States, right? Like, it could be, like a black family or a white family or whatever, but it's like, oh, man's caught cheating. Like, it is kind of funny, because, you know,
Well, and you also know
whatever,
that
but...
culturally they're not aggressive and fucking meatheady like the way we are here in
I've done what
like
you
we're all
asked.
not like
Your
fucking
family.
power, you know?
Many thanks
Yeah,
to you,
I don't know,
warrior.
but
I'll make the
I'm
most
used
of
to
it.
the people here, right? So if it's an American, I'm just kind of like, okay, but I see the same thing happen, but like maybe it's in Thailand or China or whatever, and it's automatically funnier for me. I
just think we need to go in a different direction in America with the whole cop thing. I think we hire Broadway actors.
Oh my god!
We put them in the fucking costumes, and like, can you imagine getting pulled over by those guys? They come up to your car.
They'll snap it. You know what?
Let's go the other way.
What if they had cop cars like in Europe? They're so fucking cute. Or in Japan. They look like the little Taika toys, you know?
True. But then when the cops get out, they're fucking carrying you like a big ass fucking rifle. Like, oh shit, never mind.
Three, two, one, action.
What up, guys? Welcome back to Off the Record, where we talk about whatever we want. And it's the end of the year, and usually at the end of the year of most years, people start thinking about what do they want to do next year. And I feel like this year, because all of us been hella restricted from all kinds of stuff, we probably have a lot of goals for next year. What are some of your guys'?
All my goals is play, dude.
What is it?
Okay,
You want to see the pyramids?
I don't know if I can go international, but for sure, we gotta do our overlanding trip where we all go off-roading for a couple days.
Hell yeah.
And we live in the wilderness.
Oh, that'd be so tight.
Definitely want to snowboard a lot this year, because we gotta make up for like I haven't snowboarded in 3 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 2017 was the last time I went.
I think last year I did snowboard maybe once or twice, but not enough.
Yeah, and we used to go like every week, man. So that's something I want to do again and bring back into my life. So definitely that. I want to go van lifing again because I have a good relationship with the Cuckoo Campers company now. So they're like, yeah, whenever you're in Colorado, take us out.
Oh, it's only in Colorado?
Well, that's where their hub is. They're gonna open up more locations, but that's where their main like place is. And then I can basically take it anywhere as long as I don't cross into Canada or Mexico.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
A few years ago, we visited one of our athletes in Colorado, and we saw like, was it elk or deer? I think elk. It was like we're just driving down the street, and there's just like moose. And there's fucking hundreds of them, and no shit, like, if I'm standing straight up, the asses where my face is. Damn! Like, they weigh like 2,000 pounds, and they're just fucking hundreds of them, and like, I wanted to get close.
Are they nice?
I don't know, I wanted to get close, but they look so big that if I made one wrong move, they would just turn their head and their fucking antler would knock your head. Yeah, like, it's like 8 foot, like maybe like 6 foot antlers. They look like They look buffer than horses. They're bigger than horses.
I do it if I had armor on, and then I can pet them with my bare hand.
Like knight's armor?
Yeah, I'll have knight's armor, but then I'll pet them. Yeah.
So we should like domesticate them and ride them like horses.
That'll be so sick.
Can you just hold on to the antler and nobody can fuck with you?
There's this tribe I want to visit in Mongolia, or it's like Siberia, Mongolia. They raise reindeer and they ride them.
Oh, that's tight.
And then it's like some epic ass like reindeer horse kind of things. And then they eat them like raw.
Yeah, I saw some parts in like Mongolia too. Where they
Just right into the cafeteria. Yo, this one.
So I was watching this one other show. I forgot what it was, but there's these kids that are in Mongolia and how they, because you know they're like nomadic.
Yeah.
And so how they were traveling, they pretty much just have this little baby, Mongolian baby, tied straight up onto the reindeer with like 300 ropes.
Dang!
Strapped on, so it's impossible to fall off, and you just see this baby like all smiling and laughing.
I always see shit like that, and like in other countries, the baby never complains.
Yeah,
they're like, fuck it, yeah, this is, and they're like, they know the responsibility.
Fucking spoiled ass babies here. And then this baby had responsibilities already. The mom was like, hey, I'm gonna cook right now, and so they're cooking in those Mongolian tents. So the baby was probably like, I don't know, 4 or 5.
So not a baby.
It looked like a baby to me. This baby grabbed another baby and said, hey, you're gonna come help me. So they're both carrying a pot in each hand, and they go to the part where the snow's the freshest, and they collect the snow so that they can...
Not the yellow snow.
So they can bring it back so the mom can melt it and make soup. Damn, look at Taika, my man. This food actually does help Gio cook though, never mind.
I saw him fucking washing vegetables.
Yeah, he actually realized helping, which is pretty cool.
There was this one guy that went into this really remote area in Africa, and he stayed with this tribe. And one thing that he noticed was like there was no crying, like from the babies. Like at night, he was like, it's so weird that at night, you're used to babies waking everybody up, but there's no crying, nothing.
That's dope.
Yeah, but there's a ton of kids though. So he was just like, why is this happening? Like, how come there's no babies crying in the middle of the night?
All the babies probably licking DMT or something.
They're just tripping out. They're like, I got titty milk.
They might go. And all the babies just got fucking toad juice in them.
Just tranquilizer. That's what's crazy is like all these other countries, like they do some crazy stuff. Like I was in Thailand and I saw this whole family like with the babies. I mean in Vietnam too, but they'll ride like on the scooter with like a mom and a kid and a baby and then just fucking roll like that. I saw like a golden retriever like on somebody like a backpack and then they were riding. It was crazy, man.
It's fucking crazy.
But I guess out here we're like extra sensitive. I don't know.
Too many laws, and you get sued.
Yeah. Maybe we reduce infancy for death or whatever too. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's more of like how do you call it? Like caring. Like we have the luxury to be more comfortable, so we don't have to make our kids do those things.
Yeah.
They don't have to work to survive at a young age.
Yeah, they don't have to go collect fresh water.
Yeah.
That's true, because like back in the day they used to pop out a lot of kids out here to work on the farm so they could have help.
And in case one of them die or something.
Yeah.
I was watching just the evolution of human beings and how we came to be in terms of just how we walk and everything. But like as like the primates started to like walk and get off all fours, like and start to walk normally, as we became more erect, our waist became smaller. So the babies, they came out more premature. That's why babies only come out at 9 months, and we have to care for them longer.
Oh, so they're actually supposed to stay in there for like a year or two?
I don't know about that, but in terms of how much they're able to grow.
Can you imagine a taika popping out of a human being?
Yeah.
Dang.
But then that's why like other animals, they're walking that day.
Yeah, that's true.
So
like Bambi and shit.
Yeah, so like humans are like the only ones that for years have to take care of the babies because through evolution they came out more premature.
Oh damn! If a human's supposed to pop out and supposed to walk like a deer, because I think humans start walking at 8 months, that means they're supposed to be in there twice as long.
What about monkeys? Are they premature too?
Not necessarily in terms of length, but just development in the womb.
Yeah.
That's why we have like smaller heads or whatever. But babies are also able to cling, like super young primates cling onto their mothers and like can like crawl and walk.
Babies too, yeah. Like little babies, they have some of the strongest strength. Like if you take a newborn and you put it like on like a narrow bar, they can just hold on.
So are they supposed to be like, this is your branch, this is the baby's branch, like they could just hold on to you?
Yeah.
Like a parrot?
I think they're supposed to just hold on and just...
So strong, man.
It was weird. I was talking about like how when we first discovered fire and cooked meat, it was easier to chew. So then our mandibles and our like wisdom teeth retreated back in, and some people are strong. Like over time, those teeth they'll just disappear.
What?
And like primates are out, right? Because they need it to chew because they don't cook their own food. So just learning the history of that, that's why like if you look at other cultures and stuff like that, that's why maybe
we
sometimes
have backup teeth.
Yeah, we literally do.
Yeah. Damn, that's nuts. But for 2021, I think I'm definitely gonna
travel to Mongolia.
Do more things that I'm already doing now, but on steroids.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another thing is I'm gonna next year when Bart moves to Vegas, I'm gonna visit him through the back route, through the desert, on just off-road vehicles.
Is it like a definite back route
to get there?
Yeah. Like you know how to follow it?
People do it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know if I'm gonna do that on motorcycles yet or on off-road vehicles, but definitely I'm gonna show up Dusty to his house.
That'll be tight. Maybe you can hit me up and I'll try to meet you halfway.
That'll be cool. Yeah.
I do see people camp and they'll set up like little fire pits. And then since it's like technically all like BLM land, like people they shoot and do all kinds of fun stuff in the middle. I'll be really tight. I think for me, I for sure want to travel, but since I don't know if international will be open, one thing I am really looking forward to is road trips. Because like I think with having Taika, it's just easier to be in like one self-contained vehicle, and whenever I need to, I can take a break. But when we did the RV trip and stuff, I think we went to Grand Canyon, went to Lake Havasu, that was cool. And then we went to Yosemite, on my truck, and that's cool. And I think one thing I always wanted to do was go to like all the national parks and like cities and buy like those little patches. And just put it like all inside, so like I can go, oh cool, I've been Sedona, I've been Salt Lake City, I've been wherever.
Would you get an RV or a van? Or a like pickup truck with like off-road capabilities or like...
I think my goal for like the family adventure vehicle would be to get probably either like a newer Land Cruiser or a Tahoe. Because I think SUV is just easier.
Yeah.
So some new ones are dope because you can have like the TV in the back for the kids.
Yeah.
And like if they want to watch like HBO, like they could
HBO Max, yeah.
That's cool.
They got some of the best shows, you know. The rated R stuff for the children is the best. No, I'm just kidding. Shout outs to HBO Max for sponsoring Off the Record, because this holiday season everyone's trying to spend time with their families, get cozy and snuggle up and try to stay safe. So they have some of the best movies for people to watch. If you're into Christmas movies like I am, they got some of the best ones like Last Christmas, The Family Stone, Holiday Affair, A Christmas Carol. And if you like seeing bloodshed during Christmas, they also have Gladiator, Buzz, Shaun of the Dead. They have Billy Elliot, True Grit, Sex in the City, if you like that. Even actually, Sex in the City is actually really, really good. They have all kinds of stuff. So some of the best movies are out there. And if you like Euphoria, they have a Euphoria special. So they pretty much have all of the best shows and movies. So this season, if you're trying to spend time and be safe and quarantine with your family or your crew for the holidays, HBO Max has the most bingeable series for you. Just go to https://hbom.ax/off-the-record to get cozy at home this holiday season. Thank you, HBO Max.
Yay!
What are your goals for 2021?
Honestly, I just want to, for me, like set up some businesses or work and like the things that I want to do. So finally, like last weekend, I started filming for like my cooking show, like the way I wanted to all the time. So it's cool. And then so I start releasing some within like a week or two.
You already have a few episodes then?
I shot 3 episodes. Oh shit. Yeah. And then next year, well, hopefully at the beginning of the year, I start the drunk cooking series. and then that's like something that will be pretty big. But I feel like just taking the time to just like one major thing would be like smarter for me instead of like trying to like do so many goals.
Yeah.
Because I already will travel. I already will do. That's true. That I've been continuing to do. I think just with like realizing, I think through this year, realizing how much easier it is to work. So like I don't want to add those to my goals, but definitely like just setting up a business as my own would be really dope.
That's really dope. Yeah. Is there something that for your cooking show that you set up that you're like, oh, this is really cool, or like what's the thing that you're like the most excited or most proud of?
Because I've always liked doing things that like with like the comedy stuff, just making people laugh or bringing some type of like entertainment. But with cooking, I've noticed so many people would like post like their steaks or just anything and tag me, and it was like a direct relationship with people that can like actually see them impacting my life and theirs. So that was like a cool way of just setting that up where I'm actually teaching people. So like how to cook. Yeah. So that's like as much as I'm learning, I just want to try to like give that back, and that's like my favorite thing that I'm trying to set up with like the cooking shows.
That's tight. You have how many cameras do you have set up to?
We shot four cameras.
4 cameras?
Yeah. Because before it was literally just me on a tripod, and I'd move that around, and the views were great. Like I was like getting like it was between like for the cooking stuff like 50 to 150,000 views.
Dude, your steak one went viral.
Well, yeah, that one went viral.
The dollar steak.
I did two. So then one got to 1 million, one got to like 600,000.
That's great.
But then that's why I stopped, because I didn't want to get known for those gimmicky stuff.
Oh.
The money was so good, the views were so good, but then I've seen my friends that got famous off of one thing, and then they hated their lives because they can't do anything else because their fans only want to see them. So I nipped it in the butt early.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So luckily I saw that, but I nipped it in the butt, so I didn't want to get caught up in making the money and like the views and just be known for that.
Imagine how Dogface feels. Like everyone's just hanging out with hamburgers, just drink this. He goes, dude, I just want to drink water sometimes.
Yeah.
He's drinking water, and goes, no.
You had a skateboard everywhere you go.
Cranberry juice. Yeah, skateboard.
If they're paying him hella money, coming from where he came from, I'm sure he's hella happy.
That's true. He's like, yeah, I'll drink cranberries all day.
Can you imagine people cheering because you drink juice?
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
That's dope.
He drank it in the most peaceful and chill way, though.
I know.
So you're gonna do the cooking show. Was it hard film? Did you film yourself or you had help?
I had 4 people.
4 cameras with 4 people?
3. So one was a wide. They needed help. Then I had their buddy Chris.
Yeah.
Darian, and then our buddy Justin.
So it's like good.
Oh, did you film it at Darian's place?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's probably gonna look dope then, huh?
Yeah. Like there's already definite things that we can improve on, but that's the first few episodes.
That's so tight.
So then from there, just trying to like push out that type of content and like do things that make me happy. Plus also I think one of the other goals is just like work smarter, you know, like realizing like, okay, if I get the work done easier, do this, do that, I don't have to work as hard for the same results.
Yeah.
So I want to like definitely chill out a bit more next year, but I like chill out my brain.
Yeah.
Not like stress too much about it.
It's weird. I'm producing more stuff now. Like I'm posting like every other day on my channel for like the last month now. Like
that's tight.
Yeah, but I don't feel busier.
Yeah. Because I think it's you're doing the things that you like compared to being like, I gotta film something.
Oh, that's true. Like I have so much footage, and it's like hitter after hitter, like having fun content. I'm not like forced to make it. Yeah. So
I think we've all came from that style where it was like, just you have to do this type of content. You have to like get content out.
Yeah.
Keep coming up with it instead of things that are mostly just like, because they're all fun, but they're like work too.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it doesn't feel like as much work, it comes out even better.
Yeah, things that you're a little bit more passionate about.
Yeah. Because you've been like doing so much this year.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like work because everything is kind of new and it's play. And even like right now, I'm getting an investment property with my friends, and we're gonna start doing Airbnb rental spots, and it's so easy. Like it's not difficult in a sense where it's not stressful, it's exciting, you know?
Yes.
And I mean, none of this stuff should be, really. I think that when you're in a bad state of mind, everything becomes negative and stressful. But then when you're like, if you're going through the same shit, I mean, it's like YouTube or JK News are doing the same things, but just a shift in how you see the things and how your life is, it just makes the world of a difference. Like, it just makes things really fun and exciting again. Yeah.
That's tight. Oh, yeah, one thing I had a goal for that actually started this year during the quarantine was this year I actually wanted to write a children's book. And I didn't get to because of like, you know, the whole shutdown. So like a lot of the business, we have to brainstorm what are we going to do. And then when I was quarantined on COVID, my first, I think, 4 or 5 days, I just binge watched Cobra Kai. And that's when I started texting you all this stuff. I was like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
And then after I watched both of those both seasons, I think like, and I started to feel better. I was like, oh, it's something I could do that's kind of creative. And I think I started taking those like funny pictures with like the fake.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, why don't I just start working on the children's book now? And then so I started writing it, and I actually had the first draft written.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I wrote it pretty quickly, and so hopefully next year I can like get it on like Amazon or something.
Is that why you've been drawing on it?
Like, is it a coloring book or what?
No, it's just so what I liked is I like stories growing up like a tortoise and the hare, where it's just like a cool lesson.
Yeah.
So like I feel like there's some lessons that aren't emphasized as much in this day and age. I think like everyone is like super woke now, and everyone knows a lot about their own emotions and intelligence. But you know how like analysis is paralysis, where I feel like people have a hard time like taking the first step, and just sometimes there's just merit to just putting your head down and then working hard. So I tied it into the book's gonna be called Monkey and the Cheese. This monkey
and the cheese.
Yeah, because monkey, I always call Taika Monkey Dude. So it's kind of like I guess the same lesson I would want to teach him. I wrote it into a story.
Yeah.
And then his favorite word is cheese all the time.
Why?
I don't know. He just likes it. So there's a lot of like insider like between my relationship with him. So it's called Monkey and the Cheese, and it's about this little monkey that needs to make a cheese sandwich for his mom for his birthday, but he opens the refrigerator and there's no cheese in it, so he has to go through like all these like hoops to
buy cheese
to finally get the cheese so that he could
like
make it.
Children's book, or does it get like really dark and like,
No, it's children's.
he has to blow like a crackhead for money?
No,
Does it go that extra?
it's a children's book.
It teaches like kids, like the monkey's gonna have obstacles, right? And it teaches the kids to like try and solve the problem. Don't just give up.
Yeah, like if you want something, you have to like go all out and get it. And yeah, it's called Monkey and the Cheese.
I thought you would have wrote something like more on brand with Bar, like Tony the Little Bitch or something.
That could be part 2.
Little bitch Tony.
No.
Little bitch Tony. Little bitch Tony's like, I can't make the cheese pizza.
No. That'd be funny. Yeah, it's called like it rhymes and shit too.
Oh, that's cool, man. Did you draw it and shit too?
No.
Oh, you gotta add pictures, man.
That's
for the kids. Like,
It's gonna be a novel.
Like, the fuck? You crazy? I'm not gonna read a book with no pictures.
No, that's the hard part where like you know, when you have a novel, it's just all words, right? So pretty much after you're done writing, you're done. When I was done, pretty much 90% of the dialogue, I mean like the text, I'm like, oh fuck, now I have to write a paragraph per page so that whoever's gonna illustrate knows what the hell I want happening on the page. And I'm like,
why don't you draw it? You have dope ass art skills. Look at that fucking son with gloves back there, dude.
That's yours? You did that?
Yeah. Kids, man. We used to draw like characters. This one would draw a flower stop sign with a hard boner and shit.
I don't know if that's for kids. That shit's crazy.
No, that's not definitely not like kids.
Run! I'll save your brother! The sun must be in there.
Great war is coming.
It's time to fight.
Guys, I have a story of this woman, only known as Madam W, because she actually did something really generous and really kind. So she had this fortune. By the way, she's anonymous, so I don't know anything about her actually.
You know what a W stands for? Wealthy.
Madam Wealthy, exactly, because she left a portion of her multi-million dollar fortune to several orphanages in Malaysia when she died in 2013, but she didn't do it as a one-off payment to these orphanages. What she did is she set up an estate and held a trust for the sole purpose of investment, which those earnings would be given to these orphanages.
Lifelong payment?
Yes.
That's genius, so you don't teach them how to fish.
No, you don't teach. You give him how to fish. You buy him a fish.
Oh yeah, actually yeah.
Endlessly give them fish.
Yeah.
So you don't teach them. The orphans don't know how to make the money with the orphanage. It's you set them up for endless supply of fish.
But it's not a man that you're giving fish to, it's children. You know, a man can learn how to fish on his own. I guess children technically can too.
You don't teach the children to fish. You just give the fuck out of them. That's dope.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? So, like I
So
said,
these orphans got Rolexes and stuff now?
no, it's not that crazy. Because, like,
Just
for
the
example,
manager's orphanage.
Yeah, that was like they should like going into like nice ass cars and the kids don't get shit.
I hope they don't do that. That would fucking suck, yeah.
Hopefully it's the other way.
What about the kids, man? What about the kids?
yeah, so, I mean, this is in Malaysia, right? So, different currencies, they're saying that since her death in 2013, her donations have totaled 1.1 million Malaysian ringgit, which come out to $263,157.
Damn, that's a lot of moolah, man.
Man, they probably eat the best roti. Oh, it's so good over there.
So she left like a few $1 million in investments that pay dividends to these. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so she just wanted to have her money work for itself and continuously benefit these orphanages.
That's smart compared to like she's
20 orphanages, by the way.
that's a lot.
I don't understand rich people that want to be anonymous.
Why?
Who do we think, goddammit? That's what I'm saying.
Madam W.
You just have to thank your blessings.
Nah, that ain't right. Somebody set that shit up. It wasn't the spirits.
Yeah, because in America, you can't wait. Like, almost the steps are you ball out, right? Of course, you spend it on yourself. And then you start doing philanthropy. And then after that, and you still have too much money, then it's about legacy. So you go to any of the colleges, they're named after some baller-ass dude. And they also set up, like, a trust fund to create scholarships.
You know what, though? Like, in that case, like, because for me, personally, my own opinion on that is that in that case, it doesn't feel as genuine as if it was anonymously done, because to me, it just feels like you let the work speak for itself. You
just can't win in America, though.
Feel don't mean shit if you did, though, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But then,
if this was...
I'll take it for granted if it just was given to me and I didn't know who gave it to me.
If I was dying,
It's like a free lunch at the school, right? You just kind of like, who's paying for this lunch?
But you know that Madam W gave it to you. You don't know who she is. You don't know her
So it's like a superhero alias.
That's at least someone that you can thank.
My dumb brain needs a folklore character. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm Superman. That's what folklore
Exactly.
is.
But then,
Madam Wells. There you go.
yeah, but let's create this person.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder. Ships through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh. All the fields we. Yeah, it's Madam Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
It's
What if it's guilt money?
create something, man.
Sorry, my brain.
maybe she
Could
could.
be a snakehead heroin dealer.
Right.
She could have Robin Hooded. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like guilt money, so you're like, hey, I'm gonna be
Or
anonymous.
dirty money.
Yeah, it's dirty money, right?
Like that, but not necessarily guilty.
And those bandits
It's
won't
like
bother
Robin
you
Hood
again.
style.
Yeah.
You got
The
it?
farm
In
is
America,
yours.
you can't do that unless like you're about to die
Praise
or like you
Athena.
die.
My
What?
sons are both
Give
safe
money.
and sound.
So it's like a
Thank
few
you,
reasons,
Dios.
right? Because then say you do it anonymously, right? People
You're talking about a certain amount of money?
do anything.
Because, I mean, Casey could give me $10 for now.
That's different. So like donating, right? Because then they're like, oh, you're just doing it to like show that you're like we're bragging about it, or like you're doing this. Like people are gonna hate you no matter what, right? If you don't, you do it anonymously. People are gonna be like, where the fuck weren't you donating?
You didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything. They're like, bitch, I did all this stuff, and they're like, oh, now you want to brag about it?
Now you want to use it for clout?
Yeah, and it's like,
I did keep it secret first.
That's true. You're wrong either way.
That's true. I mean, that's why, like, in this specific case where it's like, if I'm Madam W, I'm dying. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care if they thought I didn't do anything good for other people. At least I know that I did, and I don't need the praise for it.
That's good. I mean, cool. I think either way, it's like, if you're gonna die and like it comes out, say like after you're dead, I feel like it's either having it attached to a name or not is good. Because in one, it's like people can look like, oh damn, like she literally did this out of the kindness of her heart because she's dying. She's not getting the gratification, like unless you think about like your legacy after that.
I get curious though.
She just needs like one quote after her name, Madam W. It's got like Madam W. May those who benefit from this always give to others as they have been given to. You know?
Oh, that's nice. Let's just assume that's what she meant.
That's but in Malaysia.
I would like Madam W. Get paid for bitches.
That'd be tight. That'd be super funny.
And then all the orphans grow up. It's like get paid, fuck bitches, get paid, fuck bitches.
That's like the motto at your orphanage, like on a plaque in the hallways.
And what do we do today, kid?
Get paid, fuck bitches. And then they do fucking TikTok and shit. Get paid, fuck bitches. It's like a tribute to Madam W.
She's sitting over here just like.
I'm just like, yeah.
Hey, that's what Madam W wanted. We can't argue.
That's a lot of
That's her last Madam.
When I don't hear a proper woman when I hear Madam. I feel like she's like a gangster boss. Like that's kind of like Madam Heroin. Yeah, you know, she's like the biggest human smuggler in the fucking triangle, like the Arc, the Golden Triangle.
And she smokes cigarettes out of like those sticks that have like extra sticks that hold cigarettes.
And she wears like army fatigue, and she's always posing with the AK-47 and shit.
Army
I was thinking
like camouflage pants.
What? That's what they call that?
Fatigues.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They tire you out. Yeah, I think they're tired. I don't know why.
Look for the leader in his home.
But what about the rich kids? I think if I die, I'll donate to the rich kids. Why?
Because they need it,
They
right?
need it too sometimes.
Why they left out?
Yeah, why leave about the rich kids? Come on.
So with your money, just leave it to Taika?
Yeah. What's not? Why does Sarah B?
Damn, you have like no nostril hairs.
For real?
So random.
Put them all out?
Do you use that at work?
That kid that's like, why are you fat?
Dude, honestly, it gave me a glimpse of like, whoa, now I have a gel on this side. It's a real thing.
It looks so
like
clean.
if you like are super rich and you're about to die and you got nowhere to leave it to, so you like donate to people in need. If you're like not super rich and you have like hella debt and you're about to die, can you like give that to like super rich people?
Well, it sounds like it goes to your kids.
Yeah, but if you don't have any children.
If you get the restaurant bill right before you die, it's yours.
Dude, you know what's interesting? Because I started thinking about this and I'm like, you know what? It reminded me of when we went to the strip club and like we were making it rain on everyone. Like Julia was making it rain and
On those glittery orphans, huh?
Yeah.
no, hold on.
Hey, the thing? The one that we shot, the show?
No, we went to Vegas and yeah.
Yeah.
With the
And then,
orphans, Eddie and JD?
and then for some reason, I don't know why I do this, but I would give the stripper money when she wasn't looking at me. And so like it's kind of like an anonymous donation.
You know they're richer than you, though. That's the thing. In Vegas.
It's not. I'm not trying to like help her out or whatever. I'm just like I just realized like
She's not getting recognition
I'm not
for it.
doing it when she's looking.
Yeah,
but
Or
it's
is it
not.
because you felt bad for doing it?
No.
She's not gonna come dance
You
towards
waited
you.
at the right time.
Did you want her to acknowledge you when you were giving her money?
No, the thing is, I subconsciously I did not want to be recognized for giving her money. For some reason, I didn't want her to know that I gave her
But
money.
in that particular transaction, that's called a bad return of investment.
I know, I understand
When she
that.
sees that, she comes to you and she twerks it.
I understand that, but for me, I'm like, you're doing your good job already. Like, you don't need to come and give me extra for the tip.
I dance every day and you don't stop by and anonymously.
You never danced in front of me like that.
I'll face this way.
Of course, another interest.
There you go.
Where's the money?
Feel it? Smack the back of your head.
How would you feel if like we showed up to one of your practices and we started throwing money?
Not me.
That's funny.
And I say your friends didn't know who we were.
It's gonna turn into Kinja-dales.
Would that be considered disrespectful?
It depends. If it's like crumpled, smelly $1,
But it's a lot of them.
no, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah. It's never disrespectful when
What
it's
if
money.
it's just a shit ton of pennies? It's still currency.
That would hurt.
At our old apartment, it was expensive to live there. But there was hella strippers that lived there.
Oh, yeah.
The guy downstairs, what do you call him?
They probably pay with cash, so it's cheaper.
The doorman would accompany them because that was the building we lived in was attached to the Wells Fargo. Just right outside the door, the ATM, and he would like every day thousands of dollars from the same people.
Wow.
Going into the
You mean they probably pay with cash?
Yeah, tip.
whatever tip they got. Yeah.
From their tips. They're balling.
So the strippers would tip the guys.
No, the stripper would have the doorman
So they could deposit, right?
Yeah, to protect them.
So the escort would need an escort.
Like a bodyguard.
Escort and an escort.
Wow.
Thousands of dollars every single day, he would say.
What do you mean thousands of dollars every
She would deposit thousands of dollars.
From her work, she'd make like 2, 3, 4, 5 G's, and she was depositing that every day.
Oh, so the concierge was helping them
Not get robbed.
with the ATM.
Not get robbed.
Yes.
You didn't add the ATM part.
Man, that was the first thing he said.
The Wells Fargo connected to the building.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Like you need it more than I do.
I do. There's no way someone's gonna hire me, dude. If I didn't fucking run shit, I would probably never be working. It's one or the other, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. If you think about it, Joe would never.
Man, I try to get job interviews. Nobody wants.
I wouldn't be working.
I wish the confidence I have now going into a job interview, like I would want to, but not actually work for them, but see if they would hire me. I feel like
Just sign up for something.
I feel like that's hella fun.
Dude,
That's like an ego boost. Kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I'll get hired on the spot. The problem is, does the person understand my value? Because they're fucking stupid.
Well, that's why I would want
So
to.
how are you getting hired on the spot if they
I
don't?
feel like you say you go to a job interview, be like, okay, this is for Costco. I made a multi-million-dollar business. I run these many accounts. I make this much.
They'll laugh at you because you're lying. You can't go in there with that.
Try and be the guy that stands in the front and mark receipts at Costco, or what do you?
Yeah, right? That's bullshit, dude. You gotta know your role. You gotta go in the. You gotta go.
Just be like, I want to humble myself. I do this, but I want to get a job.
Lie. You say, I just graduated from Long Beach City College. I was a president of the Key Club. Do they got a Key Club? I don't know, but Gamma Data Theta, that was my frat. We did a lot of
Gamma Data Theta?
Gamma Beta Data.
What's that? What's data?
What's data? It's a tech company.
I didn't know.
I didn't think about it for the data theta.
Data.
Let me know if you need anything else.
Spectrum Mobile has 5G nationwide included in every plan. I love 5G. What is it?
Higher multi-gigabit per second peak data speeds with ultra-low latency and massive service capacity. Oh yeah!
For nationwide 5G included in every plan.
What up, guys? Welcome back to Off the Record with two daddies and a baby.
I like these segments, man. If you guys like these, let us know in the comments below. But also, hit that like. We never say hit that like.
Never do.
But I found out now that the algorithm is such shit.
Yeah.
You have to interact. You gotta comment. You gotta hit like. You gotta say what's up.
Turn on notifications.
The thumbs up, not thumbs down.
Thumbs up, yeah.
You know, I be going in the comments too. I just respond to people now. Like I'm in it. I'm in there now.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, like before, I don't know, man. I feel like OG YouTubers didn't use YouTube the same way that, like, I don't know, it's been some time, you know, we just don't use it the same way.
Yeah, now I think it's more like, they're kind of like mini networks.
Yeah.
Versus before, I think it's just ways to connect. And I think that's what makes TikTok still feel kind of pure, where it just literally, it's like people that are like, hey, I have ADHD, anybody else have it? This is what I experience. And you just connect it, and I think that's even how old YouTube was. But now it's like, there's channels that the day they're born is professional.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that brain scan you did next year. I'm gonna schedule it.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I can't wait to do it. I want to know. I'm pretty sure I got ADHD, but I want to know. I'm fucking sure I got. There's no way that I don't.
Because on TikTok, I watched this doctor. He's a psychologist, and he has ADHD, and it's tight because he breaks a lot of things down. So one of the things that he said that really reminded me of you. So every time it cuts to him, he's this old white guy. He's sitting here, and his desk is a fucking mess, right? And there's fucking paper stacked and everything. And he goes, to the non-ADHD mind, you think this is a fucking mess. And he goes, but to me, I know where everything is. And so, for him, he goes, what people don't understand with ADHD is, for a lot of ADHD people, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, to control the chaos, it's much easier to just have everything out there, so you know where your shit is, you actually know where things are. But to the other person that doesn't have it, they just go, this guy's fucking messy all the time. And I'm like, oh, that's what Joe is, because Joe always wants this shit everywhere.
If this wasn't here, I'd buy another one. Because it's not here.
Yeah.
Well, you know what though? My room is pretty fucking clean. Now,
that's dope.
My bed is always made. Everything is like pristine, but I see it as artwork now. Very different perspective. But my work table though, it is pretty nuts. It's just that I have a rule now to attend to it every day. So at the end of the day, I have to have it. And then I realized, like when I do this at home, it's because this is actually my open notepad. And it's like, I gotta do this, and then I gotta do this, and then I gotta do this. I gotta change this shit later. It's like open tabs. It's where all this shit is.
My brain works too. Like when I'm out,
you're way more organized than I am.
Well, afterwards I'm like you. I try to have a rule. I leave the desk has gotta be clean. Just because it's easy to go from keeping tabs to an actual mess.
That's how your car is too. Like you said, like second, like you go to a gas station, they have a trash can that wants to just throw away the trash.
Yeah, so I try to keep my car like a rental. Because where it's just empty all the time, because it's really easy that I notice for myself. Things can go from my workspace to a literal mess, and then it becomes a mess that builds on top of each other, and the next time I have to clean it takes like 5 hours.
I need to be better about that with my car, because my car is just like a vessel to travel.
Yeah.
And then you lock me in it a lot. I'm just like, I push it in the back, I put clothes, there's like tripods, there's everything, and it's just like packed always. And I never clean it. Then like I go to my room and like it has to be like clean. But like earlier, what you were saying about like the ADHD people, they can function through like that mess. Where I think it also gave a bad impression, not impression, but a bad message to messy people. Where they were like, smart people are actually messier. So the mess people are like, yeah, fuck yeah, you know, yeah, this is I'm smart.
You can be smart, but you're not getting laid.
Yeah, that's true. But also, it's like it was the dumb messy people that are just also messy. That were like, yeah, it's because I'm smart.
Yeah, you can't tell the difference.
Yeah, so they were like,
you just be lazy.
Are all the stuff in your car, is it because you have to use it all the time? That's why? Or it just ended up, you were gonna take it somewhere and it just ended up leaving it there?
So like say we have shoes for Marvel, I'm the one that brings the clothes and has to take it back. I don't know where I take it. It's just in my car now. Do I just throw it in the fucking office?
Yeah, it's not an office. We're done shooting.
Yeah, and then I'm also lazy where I'm like, I gotta carry this to the office now.
I see.
Do you dodge shit because you focus too much on something that should have been, like, so for example, right, like when you're doing a project, sometimes you should be putting things away, but then it's easier to just toss it and grab what you need to do, and then get that done. You just toss it, you grab whatever, and when you're done with everything, and you put it away. But some people, they'll use something and then they put it back to where it's supposed to be.
That's also a sign of ADHD.
You can't do it?
Yeah, because I'm like that too. So for ADHD people, it's because there's so many thoughts at the same time that you're scared of putting this back, because once you put it back, you're gonna forget your train of thought.
That's what happens. That's why I hate doing that.
So you have to just, if you have this task, it just has to be this, and then that way you can actually finish the task. Because if you put this away and you're like, ooh,
interrupted.
Me too. Me too. I think I might have that. Yeah. But it's like when I'm doing something that I need to finish, then everything starts popping up. Otherwise, I could focus on TikTok for hours. I'm like,
Receiving incoming transmission.
and then I'm like, zoop. And then now it's like, I answer that text, and then I open up TikTok.
You might have it, because for me, like, Jill will be like, hey, can you put this one in the garage? I go, and then, like, 30 minutes later, she goes, where the hell did you go? And I open, like, all the family pictures, because
Remember this day?
I put something, I'm like, oh, what's that thing? So I'm just, like, zoned into another world.
I'm like that with cooking. Because, like, say I use this one ingredient, I'm like, I might have to use it for something else. So, like, I keep it organized, but I make a pile of mess here. Yeah. And now I'm getting smarter with it, where it's like, I have a bowl. I learned this from Rachel Ray. She always has a trash bowl. Trash bowl. So I don't need to walk to, like, say, in your kitchen. You have to go over here and open this trash bin and throw it away there. Yeah. I have it on top of my onions. So it's just a big bowl. And I just put the scraps in there. Oh. So I don't have to move. If I move, then I'm like, I'm wasting too much time. It's this, I gotta touch a lot of things, I gotta wipe my hands. But if all the scraps can go in one place, it's just easier. I can stay focused on just chopping and just
I love all that at once.
And you just take that and it's brand new, it's fresh. And it's clean too, because it's just the scraps from the things we were just cooking.
I was able to figure out a good flow of getting things done and making it exciting. So, because of this whole quarantine thing and staying home a lot, right? It's made it interesting to be able to tackle on things and figure out an efficient but fun way of doing it. And my routine has been doing a physical activity in between things. So, for example, like, let's say I have a pile of dishes that I need to deal with. I got some laundry. I got these chores I gotta do and some emails, right? So, I would probably get my ab roller, and then I would do 33 of them in one set, and then if I do 33, 33, and 34, that's 100. So while I get going, my blood's flowing, whatever, and then I stand up, and I'm like, okay, I need to breathe, and then I start washing dishes, and then after I'm done with that, then I'll do push-ups, and then after that, I'm reading 5 emails at a time, okay, and then I get up. So in between, I'm physically active while I'm getting shit done. And it might take longer, but it makes it really fun.
You get everything that you want done.
Yeah, and I'm by the time I'm done with all of my chores, I'm ready. I'm warmed up because all that stuff was like just body weight, right? I'm warmed up to lift or doing something instead of just spending like 15 minutes doing this outside. I just do all of my warm-ups while I'm like doing chores. So my chores are done. I got all my laundry out, or I'm folding it, or whatever, and now I'm ready to just freaking lift and do that part.
That's smart. Yeah. Because, like, if you just did, like, say, 20 push-ups every first minute of the hour, 20 push-ups takes, like, a minute, yeah, right? And then you have an hour break.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like 20 seconds.
Yeah. So you have an hour break in between, and you're not going to build a sweat, you're not going to get tired, you're not going to get dirty, but then just 12 hours, it's 240 push-ups.
That's a lot.
Volume. That's kind of how I was able to like lose weight during the break and then like still gain and work out every day. It's like you're working out less, and then my lifting sessions are only like 40 minutes because I get all my cardio and all the other volume stuff done. Yeah.
Like, I wonder how good my post would be if I just had the pull-up bar hanging from my bedroom door. If I just, every time I enter and exit, just do 2.
That's what I did at my house. Well, I have one now, but in my old house, every time I passed through the kitchen, it was 10. And I would get like 1,000 done.
Oh, shit. That's a lot.
Yeah, throughout the day, though.
Yeah, no, but that's still a lot. That's a lot of volume. That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, even one of our friends, Dan Efferding, he's like a like world famous bodybuilder. He was saying a lot of the things for people that want to just lose weight and not even try to get 1,000 pull-ups or whatever, but the first thing he just prescribes is always park in the furthest parking lot.
Yeah,
just start with that. You're gonna go to Walmart, you're gonna go buy groceries, you're gonna do whatever. Just park in the furthest one, and that just forces you to walk like 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and it adds up. You end up walking like 30 minutes like a day.
Sometimes though, like when I am working out too much and I drink like way too much caffeine, I need to chill out. And thank goodness this video is sponsored by Feels. Thank you, Feels, by the way. They sent me some nice little CBD oil to chill with. I just put a couple of them on my tongue, and then you do feel that change or that chillness, and it's not overpowering to the point where you're like, I can't take this, man, this is too crazy. But it is a way. It's a cool way. There's no high. You know, it's a really chill way of just transitioning from that hypeness from working out to like now it's wind down time. And my sleep has actually been pretty fucking amazing. Like I have a sleep app that I track. I've been doing like 8 hours for a week now. Yeah. So it's pretty sick, man.
So if you're new to CBD, Feels offers a free CBD hotline to help guide your personal experience. And Feels works naturally to help you feel better. There's no high, hangover, or addiction. Join the Feels community. Get Feels delivered to your door every single month. And you'll save money on every order, and you can pause or cancel at any time. Feels has me feeling my best every day, and it can help you too. I don't know if it's just me, but I take CBD to get a boner. Become a member today by going to feels.com/off-the-record, and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's feels.com/off-the-record to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping.
Feels.com/off-the-record. So, going back to the whole mental health thing, right? Like, I think me and you have a very similar approach when it comes to these labels or titles. Like, it doesn't make me who I am. It's kind of like, if someone was, you know, really good with their right arm or something, or like, the way I put it to my friend was like, I'd like to know if my car was a all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, or like front-wheel drive. Yeah. And that's kind of how I see like ADHD or certain things. Like, you know, a lot of people will disagree with me, but I don't see it as a complete disadvantage or an illness or whatever, because there are good traits that come out of these things. For example, like if, let's say you are bipolar, right? Like you can experience these tremendously like big waves of extreme happiness or sadness, but a lot of amazing art is created through maybe some of this turmoil or whatever, and it actually helps the rest of us. Unfortunately, they're burdened, but it helps the rest of us, like, you know, when they communicate that. So they have these crazy powers that are sometimes burdensome, but I feel like there's a lot of beauty in that superpower. Like Robin Williams, you know, unfortunately he passed away because he couldn't take what he was going through, but the joy that he created through that, you know, experience is just freaking crazy. It benefited and made so many people so happy, you know?
Yeah, I do think of it mainly as like a superpower, like you said, because like even just watching, I think like, you know, this day and age, there's so many people with all kinds of information, but I think for people like us, we pretty much did most of our growing up before the internet, and we kind of had to find our own like coping mechanisms. And I realized, like, you know, someone with ADHD, it is pretty hard academically because it's made for people that are good at focusing.
I thought it was dumbass.
Yeah, but then later on, like, I found out that, you know, people with ADHD are generally very creative, and most people that are very creative just have ADHD. That's why they're able to think outside of the box. So I do think it is kind of like a superpower, and kind of like you, where like, I don't think any label has a general negative tone or positive. You just gotta find the right key to the keyhole. So like if you find out that your right arm is like super strong, then you can become like an arm wrestler or like a pitcher, baseball.
Yeah, you gotta figure out your strengths, and I think if our strength is ADHD, then we're in the right field. Like we're in line with what we can do with just a creative field, or like we harness this energy to make business or whatever.
This kind of helped you become successful?
For me, I think because we were able to, I guess, like figure out a way to work for us, I definitely think it helped us become successful, just because, like, you know, I think a lot of my comedy actually, I think, comes from ADHD. You know, like when people are actually focused and zoned in, they're literally listening to every word. But almost every word that comes out of someone's mouth is always, this makes me think of this makes me think of this. So like, when I'm talking to someone, I'm actually having like 5 conversations at the same time. Yeah. So it's easy for me to create jokes, and people think like, oh, well, Bart's like funny, or how's he able to take this and take it to that direction? I can't even help it. It's just someone says something, it already makes me think of 10 things. So I think for me, because I was able to figure out this thing called comedy, it actually really helped it out.
I feel like comedy was almost like a coping mechanism. Because like even like through sad things or like you were saying, just bringing up stuff, my mind is like creating funny scenarios in my head, but I'm able to listen to you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of creative people might have some form of it. Like it's not. When I was reading this ADHD book, right? There was a survey, and there's levels to the severity of it, and I was like 10 out of 10. But there's probably some milder form, and in order to tap into that creative mind, you probably you can relate with people maybe that have ADHD. You know, it could be. I don't know, man, but I think there's a spectrum.
Yeah, I think everyone has a little bit of something. It's just some people, you know, some people like Steve, he can eat the spiciest food in the world, and like it doesn't even affect them. And there's some people that eat like something that's barely spicy and it's like spicy as a motherfucker. I think it's like that. Like everyone probably has a little bit of ADHD, and there's people that have it really bad.
But I would say that I don't think that this made me successful, the trait made me successful, or whatever. I think that I was lucky enough to find something where I can thrive in. So like, let's say I grew up in a different country where I didn't have this option, and you know, like I worked in a company that required a lot of focus and just that routine and things that go against me. I think I would be very unsuccessful, and so like people will look at me a certain way. But it's like what Einstein said, right? You can't judge a fish by the way it climbs a tree. So I believe that everyone has really good skills or something that they can do, but they're not in line with who they are. So everyone can probably thrive if that was their thing. But we're just in the wrong seats. Like we're like doing the wrong thing.
That makes sense, yeah.
I think I'm just hella lucky that I found the thing that works for me. Yeah. But we do see a stigma though behind mental health and like labels and all that, especially when you don't know yourself yet. It is kind of scary. Like let's say you're a teen and then you get diagnosed with ADHD or whatever, and then you're told that you can't focus or you can't do this. Whenever you're told you can't do something as a young person, I think it fucks with their mind, because now they're limiting themselves and they're like, well, I'm not going to study because, you know, I can't focus. Versus me, out of curiosity, I just kept going down the rabbit hole. And then I was told I was stupid and unintelligent by, you know, teachers. And they called my mom saying, like, I need to go to special school and all this shit. But out of curiosity and just wanting to learn and going down the rabbit hole and doing my own research, I was able to gain more understanding of like subjects and whatever. And then I think that if I had a school for me, I would be able to kill it.
Yeah, I think one of the best things that happened to me was being sent to the corner, because I was always considered a disruptive student. They said I can't focus, you know, like they'll be like, okay, cool. Like, you know, like in elementary school, now it's time to do this worksheet, and you're supposed to be quiet for 30 minutes, right? And I think if you're able to focus, you start doing it. But if you're not and you're like me, then you start like cracking jokes, or you start crawling under the table, or you do like weird shit, right? So I always get in trouble. And then when my teacher goes, Bart, go to the corner, go to timeout. When I went there and now I was able to like pluck a staple out of the carpet, now all of a sudden I could do the worksheet. Because now I'm doing like other things at once, you know, or I get to like draw, if I could draw
like
here.
You're distracting your mind?
Yeah, so now if I'm like, if I could draw here, then I could still do the worksheet, or I could like do random shit. But if I couldn't focus the way they wanted me to focus, which is like sit in a perfect upright position and do homework, I wasn't able to do that.
Yeah, schools aren't made for all kids. Like, it's only like a select few that actually benefit like that.
Yeah, but what if I was able to sit on the floor and scribble and do things in the, like, out of timeout? Like, the teacher probably thought I knew the timeout was going to fix them, but it was actually just because I was distracted, so I was able to do it.
There was a school that I think tested giving all these kids those fidget toys that had like a bunch of different buttons on things, and they said productivity went up like crazy. Grades went up, everything.
I feel like it goes against human nature to sit for hours and focus, because I don't know, maybe I'm just a more primitive human being and I need to be playing with branches all day. But I can't do it. I can't sit.
Especially kids, like when they're like 5.
Imagine what we were like in our childhood, man, because that shit was a blur. If I can't stay still now, fuck, dude. I feel bad.
my mom. Taika, dude. Can't wait.
Taika's nuts. Yeah, that's what I think for sure. He's got to go to private school.
Do you think he's got ADHD?
I think so for sure. He's nuts. Like and what's crazy is he's like me where like I can't do one thing, but I can do like 5 things, and by doing 5 things, I'm actually better at it. He's kind of like that too, cause like I'll see him play and stuff, and he puts like a turtle in a random area, and I'm like 3 hours later, I'm like, hey Taika, do you know where your turtle is? And I'm thinking he lost it. He goes, it's in the tank. Oh shit. So I think his brain kind of works like mine, where he has to just do a little bit of stuff over here, a little bit of stuff over there. So I think he for sure has it.
By the name of Stephanie Winston Wolkoff has been in the news quite a lot over the last few months. She is a former assistant to Melania Trump. Before she was an assistant, she was a longtime friend of Melania Trump. The two had a falling out in 2017, and she has now written a tell-all book about her time working with the First Lady. Now, Winston Wolkoff gave an interview to the Daily Beast this week, that was published this week, where she said that Ivanka Trump is just as bad as Donald. She is just as bad as the rest of the family in that she uses people and then discards them. Once she has what she needs from you, you no longer matter. Which, by the way, is a psychopathic tendency. That is a psychopathic trait, to view people as tools, as a means to an end, rather than actual living, breathing, functioning human beings. Absolutely look it up in your DSM-5s if you have one. That's the trait of a psychopath. And that is exactly what Winston Wolkoff says Ivanka Trump does. And here's her basis for that. In 2017, shortly after Trump took office, a big scandal broke. That's actually still an ongoing scandal and investigation, by the way, that few people have really paid that much attention to. It's the inauguration spending scandal. They let Lawson, whose company received some money from the inaugural committee. It looks pretty bad, actually. But anyway, Wolkoff says that Melania essentially made her the fall person for it. You're the scapegoat, putting all the blame on you. They had a big falling out because of that, because Wolkoff says, please go out there, tell them I'm loyal, tell them I'm a good friend, tell them I don't do these things. And according to her, in this interview, Melania said, no, I don't. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, Melania says, no, I'm not going to do that. Wolkoff, obviously angry. But here's the thing. When you really look and start reading down into that inaugural spending scandal, Wolkoff does not look completely innocent. Looks kind of bad for her. But I can understand, too, if she is totally innocent, then yes, that would probably piss somebody off.
Well, you wouldn't call it.
She's also trying to sell a book. So, let's keep that in mind, too. But I have no reason to doubt her when she says that Melania is just as bad as the rest of the family. You know why? Because we've already seen it. We heard in that audio tape of Melania, trashing Christmas and being pissed off about them covering The fact that there's kids in cages in the border. We saw the real Melania, or we heard the real Melania in that tape. Like, there's no disguising that. That's who this woman is. She is a horrible, horrible human being. And long before that, before her husband was even running for office, she was a birther. She was pushing that racist conspiracy. So yeah, Melania Trump is just as evil as the rest of the family. She does not get a pass. You know, her Be Best program? Crap. You are just as bad. You're the kind of person that program is directed towards, but you're too stupid to realize that, just like the rest of your family. That entire Trump family tree is a blight on America. Absolutely horrendous. Melania Trump is not. She may not be biologically part of that family tree, but she married into it, she embraced it, and she exemplified some of the worst characteristics that the Trump family has to offer.
Somebody help me!
Seriously.
Help me spot the flame!
What the hell?
According to the CEO of the voting software company Smartmatic, world leaders are expressing concern that Donald Trump's election conspiracy theories might spread from the United States and infect countries across the planet. They're worried that Donald Trump calling into question the software being used, the machines being used, the methods being used to count the votes and all of that, that somehow that is going to cross over our borders and enter into their countries, causing their constituents to not believe the results of their own elections. In all fairness, well, first and foremost, before I get to that, nothing Trump has said about the election is true. There's no widespread fraud. There's no abnormalities that we have seen so far with the voting machines. His people were allowed to go in there and observe, even though he says they weren't. They were. They actually caused major distractions in there. They were the ones messing things up. But nevertheless, it is important that we do look intensely at the way we vote here in the United States and, of course, across the world. You know, we need to have accountability in the voting systems. If we do not have that, we do not have safe elections, we do not have secure elections, and eventually we're going to have very inaccurate elections. We're not seeing that in the United States right now. But we do know we have very severe problems with voting machines here in the United States. You know, the D-Bolt machines from the early 2000s, you know, they were switching votes. The voting machines themselves, the software in them, is easily hackable. Our actual voting systems here our voting databases here in the United States, those are easily hackable by kids as young as 11 years old. They've been able to do it. Hacking into exact replicas of our systems, changing people's registrations, changing whether or not they're even eligible to vote. We have major problems here in the United States. And I am sure these other countries do too. And much like in the United States, they probably don't want their people poking around trying to figure out what's going on. Now, I'm not saying there's widespread fraud across the globe. We do, obviously. We have seen some elections in some countries where the dictator continues to win. Yeah, those are totally fraudulent. But not a whole heck of a lot we can do about that, short of intervening with another unwinnable war that's going to cost unnecessary lives. That's not a solution. But we need more accountability. We need paper trails, we need paper ballots, we need receipts. We need to be able to verify that what we put as our vote was counted as such. I don't think that's a bad thing. However, we're not going to get there with these baseless conspiracy theories that Donald Trump keeps spreading. And yes, these world leaders are right to be afraid, because if their people do not accept the results of the elections, they may be a little more intense than we are here in the United States. You know, if you're talking about a developing country, a country with a lot of turmoil, who knows what can happen. And it all gets linked back to Trump. He's not just a national embarrassment, he is an international embarrassment. And he's causing international problems. You know, he has less than a month in office now. Hooray. But the damage he has done is going to live on, not just here in the United States, but across the globe. According to a recent report, 50 years worth of trickle-down economics has yielded absolutely nothing for anybody that isn't already a member of the top 1%. For 40 years here in the United States, we have been fed the lie by Republicans that if we give more money to wealthy people, it is going to trickle down to the rest of us. You know, the wealthy are just going to make it rain on us po folk. But this study, along with every other study that's looked at this, and according to the guy that actually created trickle-down economics, David Stockman, yeah, it's all a farce. Whole thing was a scam from the beginning. Nothing trickled down. The only money generated from trickle down, the tax cuts for the wealthy, all it did was enrich those already at the top and, of course, balloon deficits. That's it. That is what trickle-down economics gets you. More wealth concentrated at the top while starving those of us at the bottom. And for 40 years, that has been the policy here in the United States, brought to us exclusively by the Republican Party. This was their baby. This was their idea. And too many people in this country who are in those lower economic rungs believe that somehow if we give more money to those at the top, it's going to come down to us. See, that's the problem. We know, and we have known, because this is not the first study to tell us this, that trickle-down doesn't work. As I just mentioned, the guy that created it, David Stockman, came out a decade ago and said, listen, trickle-down economics in practice cannot work. Not just that it doesn't work, but that it cannot work. Because it relies on the generosity of those at the top, which, as we have seen, simply doesn't exist, folks. The people who spend money, the people who actually drive the economy, are not the ones sitting at the top. It's the rest of us. The people working the average everyday jobs. And do you know how we know that that's true? Not just because of the studies, but because that's what happened during the pandemic. When all of these average everyday working class people suddenly couldn't go to work, when they couldn't do their jobs anymore, what happened to the economy? We immediately went into a recession. Immediately went into a recession. Because the real drivers of the economy weren't out there making it happen. The wealthy elite did better than ever. They continued to put money.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Billions of dollars in profit during the pandemic. Did any of that reach you? No, didn't reach me. And it never will. Trickle-down economics is a lie. Any politician that tells you we have to cut taxes for the wealthy to help the rest of us is lying to you. Do not ever vote for them again. I don't care who it is. I don't care if Bernie Sanders were to come out tomorrow and say, hey, let's cut taxes for the wealthy. Not that he ever would, but those people who say this aren't your friends. They don't have your best interest at heart. They're interested in helping their donors and, of course, helping themselves, because nearly every member of Congress is also a member of that top 1% that gets the tax cuts. Don't believe it anymore. Do not support them anymore. Call them out. And most importantly, vote them out next time.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Malaka! What will I do now? Mis Dios, I need a piece of armor, headgear, and boots from the Daughters of Artemis.
Are these what you're looking for?
Thank you, Mis Dios. I'll finally be able to infiltrate the...
You might want to reconsider. Daughters of Artemis won't risk...
What would you do?
Find a new path that lets you...
You're just like them, thinking I'm not tough.
Taking a life isn't easy, and it can't be undone.
You don't know me. I can
see good in you. You're passionate, determined.
Really? I know. I'll become a priestess and join a temple.
recent reports, Parler, the right-wing answer to Twitter, is already experiencing a mass exodus of users because, as it turns out, Republicans don't really like just yelling in the dark. Parler has been plagued since the beginning with not having enough users. Now, there are roughly 10 million people signed up for Parler, but according to the reports, there's only about 4 million active users. Compare that to the tens of millions of people on Twitter every single day, and you start to realize that this place is pretty boring. And that's why Republicans are already leaving this doomed endeavor. Now, Parler has received a couple $1 million to start up from the Mercer family, wealthy right-wing Republicans who love to fund some of the most horrific candidates and causes here in the United States. They pumped money into Parler to keep it going. And it looks like they're not going to get too much for their investment. Because again, Republicans find it boring when they don't have people to argue with, when they don't have other people willing to call them out, people to get in fights with. It's all just one big giant echo chamber where you're yelling, and then what you're yelling comes right back at you from other people because you all agree with the same thing, and there's no fun, there's no debate, there's no liveliness, there's nothing on Parler. Now, I love this, right? Parler was doomed to fail from the beginning because not enough Republicans saw it as a real alternative. And the reason for that, again, is because you're not getting enough people over there. You're not getting people from the other side over there. And the free speech problem that they claimed Twitter was having, which is why Parler was allegedly founded to begin with, isn't a real thing. Now, this might change when Trump leaves office, and I'm willing to bet he's probably going to be suspended from Twitter at least at some point. I mean, they've made it clear they want to do that, but they're not going to do it till after Biden is inaugurated. So maybe he'll go to Parler, and maybe that'll give it a little spark of life, but it's not going to be enough. But here's the bigger issue. The issue is that Republicans always find money to do stupid things.
I found your supplies. Thank you.
The Mercers, again, they came in, they put a couple million into this, and it became a thing.
Oh, my grapes
10 million people signed up for it.
I get
4
the
million
feeling
active
that's
users.
all you've cared about from the start.
There is no
Without grapes, there is no work.
amalgam of that.
By healing the workers, you've
There
saved
simply
my
isn't.
farm.
I know Republicans like to think that George Soros funds everything on the left, but trust me, he truly doesn't. We're all on our own. You know, we don't have any kind of cohesion. I mean, look at what's happening right now online still. We're all fighting with one another about policy and procedure, which is actually a good fight to have. Like, we're not fighting about petty things. We are fighting, for the most part, when you get past the personal attacks. We're fighting on how best to move forward. That's a good fight to have. But we don't have the money behind us that Republicans do. And that is always going to put us at a disadvantage, and that is why a lot of the fighting on the left right now is, you know, actually kind of harmful. We have to stick together. Because the right, when these projects fail, if Parler goes under, which I'm assuming it's going to eventually, these wealthy donors, they will have already made that money back in other ventures, and they'll just take that new money to go fund another project. There's always going to be these little right-wing things popping up, always. And those of us on the left, we need to get our act together and start fighting back against these things, and maybe possibly form our own group to do something. Because even if one fails, eventually they're going to come along with something else that won't. And it's going to become a powerful messaging apparatus that the entire Republican Party is going to use. And if we don't start coming together now, we are going to be severely at a disadvantage compared to what they're going to be able to create. This one was a failure. The next one might not be. I know it's been lost in the shuffle because there's a lot of other insanity happening in this country right now, specifically with Donald Trump's attempted soft coup. But we still have hundreds of children along our southern border in detention facilities that have not yet been reunited with their parents. They don't know where their families are, and according to recent court filings from about 2 weeks ago, it turns out that the Trump administration had actually been hiding that data from the court system, from immigration officials, and from the attorneys trying to reunite these children with their families. Now, they now have what they believe to be most of that data. But there was about 648 individuals where the data was lacking. It existed. It was in the government's database, but they refused to give that to the lawyers trying to reunite these individuals, which proves this was never about anything other than cruelty. There was no reason other than to just be jackasses that this administration would withhold that data. After all, we weren't actually trying to bring all these people into the United States, right? They can't withhold it being like, no, because you're just going to bring them into the U.S. and we can't have immigration. No. We were trying to find out where the hell to send the kids. Like, where are their parents? Where did you send their parents? Or in some cases, where did you send the kids so we can get them back to their parents? We have the parent, we don't have the kid. Or we have the kid, we don't have the parent. The cruelty was always the point. And they admitted this. They admitted that they were trying to use this as a deterrent. And that is why they suppressed this data. Why they didn't want the lawyers to have it. Because if people thought they could come over here and, oh, well, eventually I'll get my kids back, maybe we'll just try it anyway. That is some absolutely illogical thinking, which, of course, has been the hallmark of the entire Trump administration. But as everybody sits down to a nice Christmas Eve, a nice Christmas dinner tomorrow, let's not forget about what has happened during this administration. Let's not be distracted by the insanity coming out of the lunatic in the White House. Because behind the ridiculous tweets, there is abject cruelty at play. And it's been at play for a long time. Trump isn't the first president to put those kids in cages. Trump isn't the first president to separate families. Certainly did it to a greater extent than others, certainly did it for a longer period of time than others. But Obama's guilty here too. Absolutely. Biden is too. He was a part of that administration. He can write this, he can fix it, but will he? He has to. And it is our job to hold him to it every single day. Because if we don't, we all become complicit in this as well. The policy doesn't just suddenly end because we have a new president. He actually has to end it. He has to do that. Otherwise, it will continue. And if you don't hold him accountable, if I don't hold him accountable, then we're a part of it too. And by God, I'm not going to let that happen. Most of that data. But there was about 648 individuals where the data was lacking. It existed. It was in the government's database, but they were...
Wow, you guys look great. So the defensive magic you used to enhance some of these garments is supposed to make them more protective, right?
Yep. Plus I added optical camouflage to help you blend in. And cozy temperature to make it so they'll never be too hot or too cold.
saved the bottle.
And the ship is for friendship.
This is incredibly thoughtful.
My turn.
You should wait. It's a charger. It's gonna power our friendship.
I've been starstruck many, many times. As a matter of fact, this past year, I got to meet one of my childhood heroes. I got to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, some of you are clapping, some of you are like, wait. Well, here's the thing. I didn't love him as a politician, and I was too young to know him as a bodybuilder. All I knew is the movie Terminator was my favorite movie, and he was the Terminator. So, here's the story. I'm in LA at this red carpet event for some movie that I still haven't seen. I'm standing there with my publicist, okay? I'm standing there with my publicist, and she's explaining to me how the red carpet works. Listen, Gabriel, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go down the red carpet, and then the paparazzi's gonna start taking photos of you, and then someone's gonna ask you some questions. It's a lot of fun. Then we'll go inside, and then we'll go to the after party. It's gonna be great. As she's telling me this, I'm looking around, and I look over and I notice, I see him. I see Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I freak out. Relax. You've never met Arnie? I said, no, I've never met Arnie. I work with him all the time. He's really nice. Would you like me to introduce you? Oh my, yes. She takes me by the hand, and she walks me directly to Arnold. I'm freaking out so bad, I look like a big-ass toddler. We get over to Arnold Schwarzenegger's area, and he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's already got a big group of people around him waiting to take a photo. So I'm just patiently waiting. As I'm watching him, you guys, I gotta tell you right now, no one on this planet is better at meeting people than Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is the greatest people meter I've ever witnessed. And the reason I say this is because when you meet him, he's very engaging. He grabs your hand, he pulls you in, he looks at you in the eyes, and he turns it on. When you meet Arnold, you get exactly what you think you're gonna get. It's awesome to watch, you know.
How are you? So nice to meet you. You're so strong. You're from Miami. Hey, look at you. This is incredible. Got these lights and this red carpet. This is incredible. Excuse me. How are you? Hey, you're so strong. You're from Miami. This is incredible. Look at you.
People are walking away from him, looking at their hand. They're looking at their hand, you guys. 10 minutes, I'm watching Arnold Schwarzenegger light people up. And then I noticed something else. I noticed that Arnold has a handler, a guy who stands right behind him. And it's this guy's job to basically reset Arnold for the next person he's about to meet. Arnold Schwarzenegger will never cut off a conversation with a fan. The guy behind him listens in on the conversation, and he determines when enough is enough, and then he signals Arnold to cut it off and move on. Here's the signal. He grabs the back of Arnold's arm right there, 2 times. 1, 2. That lets Arnold know, cut it off, time to move on. Always to the left. Awesome to watch.
This is incredible what these lights and these special effects is going on here. Excuse me. How are you? Nice to meet you. You're so strong. Hey! I'm like, oh.
So I yell out to the handler, hey! And the handler turns around. Hit him! I want to meet him! Hit him! And he starts laughing because now he sees that I see how the Terminator is really working. So he gives me one of these. Next thing you know, he is lighting Arnold. That I see how the Terminator is really working. So he gives me one of these. Next thing you know, he is lighting Arnold up. He is hitting Arnold so fast, Arnold can barely keep up. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, hello, how are you? Excuse me, pardon me, high five, high five, high five, high five, high five, pardon me, excuse me, hello, how are you? Very good. Pound, 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 pound. He's coming down the line, coming down the line, coming down the line, and I'm just waiting. And I stick my hand out, and he grabbed it.
How are you, son? I recognize you. I know who you are. You're the comedian who does the joke about the Indian man trying to rob a bank, but he cannot rob a bank because they are making fun of him.
And in my head, I'm like, he knows me!
Outside, I'm like, yeah, that's me. You are hysterical. Give me your contact information. You are the funniest person. Excuse me. How are you? Nice to meet you. You're so strong. Hey! Meeting Arnold is like a really good roller coaster. You want to go to the end and meet him one more time. You know what I'm saying?
Getting to net zero emissions means change. Discover more about Shell's climate ambition.
僕も手伝おうか。
そうね。だったらお腹空かせて待ってね。いいかい旦那様。とんかつをね。とんかつをいつでも食えるくらいの人間がちょうどいいくらいって。
なんかわからないけど、とんかつに母情があるっぽいことを言っている。
旦那様の舌を私専用にしてやろうかと思って。
司ちゃん。
え？
はい。
いや、私はそういうのはちょっと。
うわー、恥ずかしがってる。かわいい。
How can I help you?
なるほど。生物保護ね。誰？そう決まれば行くぞまず。きっと住民の半分は YouTuber よ。時給日本一の人の動画で見たことあるもん。
それは違うんじゃないかな。そうだ。次に引っ越すとなったらいよいよお風呂付き。そうなればついに一緒にお風呂タイム。一つのベッドに一緒に寝ない？
私もその方が嬉しいかな。広い家に住めば誇らしい気持ちになるだろうし、狭ければ
Come back anytime.
感じられる。どんな家に住んだってきっと何か問題が起こってきっと気に入るとこもある。きっとあなたのいる場所が私の帰る場所だから。大事なのはイノベーションなんだ。
革新的アイデアをデザインし、システムを再定義するんだ。
と言って野屋さんには次々とイノベーションを起こしてるっす。実際聞くと思ったよ。考えるより先に体が動くか、頭は割れるし見るし、最愛の人となる人を助けられて。ナサ君の好きなものって何？
司ちゃん。
そういうのではなくて好きな食べ物のことよ。
重力変数がどの程度変わったのかというのを数学的に調べたんだけど、
簡単なことを聞いたはずなのに難しい言葉がいっぱいだわ。
結論としては大変だったよ。
すごい簡単な結論ね。
ほかほかだ。キスをするつもりでした。
おお、そうか。すごく男らしく言うな旦那様は。
はい、嘘はつきたくないので。
なるほど、それは見上げた男だ。ニンニクが効いてたのか。
ニンニクだって僕は気にしないよ。だって夫婦だし、僕だって食べたし。
夫婦でも私は気にするの。だから今日は延期ということで。
しまった。優しくギュッとするつもりが焦っていきなり抱きついちゃった。だけど僕のお嫁さんびっくりするほど柔らかい。司ちゃんは僕と結婚してみてどうですか？
どうって笑ったりちょっと呆れたり、でも今みたいにドキドキすることが多くて。
If I can help you again, let me know.
私はこれからもナサ君を通じていろいろな気持ちを知っていく。
こんなにドキドキするの初めて。
私だって。
Let me know what you need.
たくさんの初めてを君が教えてくれている。私の初めては全部君のものなんだ。
we delve into the main story, let's talk about one of the latest patches, hotfix 1.06, which patches out, I think, one of the biggest issues that the game had, which was that your save file could get corrupted if the file size exceeded 8 megabytes, which could happen if you looted or crafted too much, something to do with how the game handles item IDs. And so a lot of people very quickly started to find that their save files got corrupted, especially those who did focus on looting and crafting. With hotfix 1.06, CD Projekt reports here that for PC-specific fixes, they have removed the 8 megabyte save file size limit. And while this won't fix save files that have already been corrupted before the update, it will ensure that from here on out, if you were worried that this might happen and have not been looting or crafting as much, you can now loot and craft to your heart's content, and this should no longer be a problem, assuming this works as intended. Beyond that, we got some quest fixes and some console-specific stability improvements. With that out of the way, let's talk about the main story of today, which is Cyberpunk 2077 sales. We were bound to see sales figures sooner rather than later. We have known that the game had sold 8 million units in pre-orders alone, which is utterly insane. And the figures were actually broken down by CD Projekt's official investor relations page, where they talked about the 8 million pre-orders. They talked about the sales split of 59% on PC and 41% on consoles, which, I actually expected more console sales than PC, but CD Projekt did note that PC players tend to pre-order more than consoles, so they said that as time passes, they expect that gap to close. So I suspect that now that it's been days since the game launched, that the gap might be closer to a 50-50 distribution, but as of pre-orders, this was the distribution. Beyond that, we've got physical versus digital. 26% bought the game physically, 74% digitally, which makes sense when you think about how most pre-orders took place on PC, and PC does not have a physical version, so it makes sense that there's such a disparity given most sales happened on PC. These figures were impressive enough that with just pre-orders alone, Cyberpunk 2077 managed to become the fastest selling PC game of all time, smashing the record set by World of Warcraft Shadowlands not long before. Just to give you specifics, Shadowlands sold 3.7 million units globally on its first full day of launch. The PC version of Cyberpunk 2077, 59% of 8 million would be 4,720,000. So Cyberpunk sold 1 million more on day one than WoW Shadowlands did. Very impressive results, though of course a lot of those pre-orders happened because many didn't know that the game would launch in the unacceptable state that it did on consoles and the still rough state that it did on PC, where the best experience can only happen if CD Projekt polishes things, fixes a lot of the technical issues, and implements certain key features. Which brings us to sales figures as of December 22nd, 2020. CD Projekt on their official website released the following statement for investors, seemingly in an attempt to garner confidence, given that much confidence has been lost not only on the part of customers and media outlets, but also investors who saw this shit show go down. And so this is what CD Projekt had to say. The management board of CD Projekt, with a registered office in Warsaw, hereby announce that based on reports obtained from digital distribution platforms and data collected from physical distributors, it estimates that by December 20th, inclusive gamers have purchased over 13 million copies of Cyberpunk 2077. This figure represents the estimated volume of retail sales across all hardware platforms, factoring in returns submitted by retail clients in brick and mortar, as well as digital storefronts, i.e. the sell-through figure, less all refund requests emailed directly to the company by the publication date of this report in the framework of the Help Me Refund campaign. So, after the game launched, on top of the pre-orders, the game sold an additional 5 million units And this all takes into account the refund. So all of that has been subtracted from the total sales, and we've come up with the final figure of 13 million, which, despite the bugs, the controversies, the backlash we've seen against CD Projekt for their deceitful marketing and review process practices, is a damn impressive figure. Few games accomplish this level of sales so quickly. So yeah, this just goes to show how elevated and how high the hype for the game was. And it would seem as though there are plenty of people hoping and willing to wait for fixes, patches that will make this the experience that it should have been at launch. Now, there's one excerpt here that explains why CD Projekt released this statement. It says right here, the management board has decided to disclose the above information in the form of a current report due to its potential impact on investor-related decisions. Investors, as you can tangibly see here in CD Projekt Red's stock, yeah, the confidence from investors has waned. So from December 14th all the way to December 21st, the stock dipped by a whopping 42%. That's hundreds of millions of dollars in value lost. And beyond that, we are seeing stocks stabilize, but it is still not where one expected it to be. A lot of investors expected stock to skyrocket with an incredibly successful launch, but there have obviously been a few roadblocks along the way, and some investors feel as though they were deceived enough that there are some who are organizing a class action lawsuit against CD Projekt. We'll see whether that actually goes anywhere, but I reported on that a couple days ago. As for how investors and analysts have reacted to CD Projekt revealing this 13 million sales figure, apparently analysts expected more from Cyberpunk. So this is an article released by news outlet Bloomberg on December 22nd, 2020, whose headline reads, "Cyberpunk fails to deliver again as game sales disappoint." It is insane to think that a game that has sold 13 million copies in just 10 days could disappoint investors. But keep in mind that for investors, for a lot of these companies, it's not about raw sales figures. It's about whether a game exceeds or falls below par what they expected to sell. And so Cyberpunk apparently was expected to sell more than 13 million by December 20th. So scrolling down here, the article emphasizes that the sales figures, despite how fast they are, despite breaking all kinds of sales records, were still lower than expected, and disappointed analysts and pundits concerned about the timing of future releases. So that's another thing, the fact that so much of the focus is going to be on fixing the game, that upcoming new content like DLCs, expansions, and the multiplayer mode, all of that, no doubt, is going to get pushed back by at least a couple months, maybe a year. Who knows? Depends on how long CD Projekt takes to fix the base game. It is mentioned how Sony pulled the title from PlayStation Store and are offering refunds, and Microsoft also is offering full refunds. These are all factors that investors are considering. While we have seen a huge spike in sales, the fact that the games no longer being sold on PlayStation Store is going to have a substantial effect on the total sales of the game. And the fact that refunds are so wide open right now, people can just get guaranteed refunds for the title, and the fact that so many people are able to issue refunds because of how rough the game is technically right now, especially on consoles. Yeah, there's been a huge markdown in what the game is now after the dust has settled. So Morgan Stanley downgraded the stock to equal weight from overweight following the sale update. And here's a statement from a Morgan Stanley analyst. It's difficult to believe CD Projekt has the capacity to deliver as heavy a play of new content as we previously expected. Delay of that future content also means delayed revenue stream, which is what a lot of analysts and investors are concerned about now. And apparently the most important near-term issue for the analysts is the timeline to fix Cyberpunk bugs. As for what was the expected sales figure for the game on the part of analysts, apparently those who were surveyed estimated the game would sell 16.4 million copies by December 24th. It doesn't seem likely that the game will sell an additional 3.4 million units in just the span of 4 days. A lot of analysts don't expect that's going to be the case, and so that's why they've lowered their expectations. In addition, Bloomberg adds that the sales number amounts to about half of the 12-month sales forecast in the Bloomberg survey of 9 analysts, which was taken before Sony removed the game from its store. As for how many refunds were issued, CD Projekt hasn't provided an official figure, but an analyst predicts that that number may be sitting at roughly 3 million units, with net sales rising to 14.5
I dodged it.
million
What
by
the shit?
the end of 2020 and to 30.5 million by the end of next year. So that's what's expected from. From 21 countries are in Darwin, Australia. In a 19th it's a man and machine.
This is a competition to really get people moving and trying to engage. Technology is very important. We also care about the environment. Climate change is a big issue in the world.
These teams have been they will attempt a 2,000-mile endurance race straight through the middle of the Alps. Most difficult solar race in the world. From the title, 3 million refunds is substantial. If it wasn't for those refunds, CD Projekt Red would have surpassed the expectation of 16.4 million by December 24th, assuming that this information from the analyst is true. Again, we have no official figures on that from CD Projekt. But the analyst has a quote here, which reads, "It seems that most of the refunds have already happened, and that risk is now gone. Sales could speed up once the company releases new patches in January and February, and once the game is reinstated in Sony's store. However, one needs to verify that the further away from launch day, the lower the price for the game." So basically, time is of the essence. CD Projekt Red has to fix their game as fast as possible, get the game back online on the PlayStation Store as fast as possible, and capitalize on that launch period, which tends to be the first few months of games launch. The further you get away from that, the more the interest surrounding the game diminishes, conversation shifts to other titles, and that's sales are going to be missed. Other analysts weighed in. One said that expecting the game's sales figures to reach 14 million to 15 million by year end, that's too high of an expectation. And this individual had this statement to provide. While the number ranks Cyberpunk as one of the top-selling titles this year, it implies lower PC sales or higher refunds on console than anticipated. We know that more refunds can still flow in. So, at the end of the day, we're looking at a situation where Cyberpunk has sold incredibly well, but not as incredibly as it could have had the game simply shipped in a state that was acceptable, in a state that they promised, saying that the game would be out when it's finished, it'll be out when it's ready. That was the motto of the game for years and years. The game obviously didn't live up to that. And that's what kills me about leadership's decision to just launch Cyberpunk 2077 when it wasn't ready to be launched. They could have delayed this an extra year, and it would have done similar, if not significantly better sales figures had the game launched in the state that it should have. Without all this negative backlash, without the game getting pulled from the PlayStation Store, without all of this talk about their marketing practices and the way they manipulated the review process, we wouldn't be seeing all of these mass refunds happening. The discourse could be significantly more positive, and we could be looking at higher initial sales figures. But this is the current reality. Only time will tell if CD Projekt will somehow make it up to us, if they'll finally reach recoup the huge amount of trust and reputation that they've lost. We'll have to wait and see if Cyberpunk 2077 will end up having a long tail in terms of sales and They will keep selling consistently over the course of years and rack up sales numbers to 30 million, 40, 50 million even. A lot of it will depend on just how well they do with the post-launch stuff, how well and how quickly and swiftly they can fix the base game, how compelling the upcoming content, the free DLCs, the paid expansions, and the multiplayer mode, how compelling those end up being. I do think it is very possible for Cyberpunk 2077 to come back in a big way. If No Man's Sky can come back the way it did, I certainly do think that Cyberpunk has that potential, given that at the core of it all, there is a gem there hidden in all of this rubble. I had a great time with the game, despite the technical issues that disrupted the experience and diminished my experience, which is what is so heart-crushing about all of this. I'll say what I said before with other AAA game launches, especially live services like Marvel's Avengers and Fallout 76 and Anthem. Those are games that even if you were to fix the technical issues, for me the substance just isn't there, and I wouldn't go back to those games because the substance of those titles just feel incredibly bland. Whereas with Cyberpunk, it does feel like there's clearly substance there that just needed more time in the oven to bake. And so if over the next few months CD Projekt Red can really make the substance that's there kind of come to the surface and really shine, as it should have had the game been delayed by 6 months to a year, then maybe the game can really come back. But it's an if at the moment. You know, it's hard to tell what the future holds for the title. I do wish the devs, especially who were screwed by leadership decision, the best of luck in bringing this back, turning the conversation around. But for now, this is the reality of the situation. I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on the investors' reaction and the current sales figures that have been revealed for Cyberpunk, and what your experience has been like with the title. Drop a comment, and to be first.
Ready for sailing!
Commander! We're back!
Pick up that salvage! Rowers! To your oars!
Ζωμένος με Ελίας, παιδί φιλοκόμου, να πέσει και κορυφές, να πέσει και κορυφές, να πέσει και κορυφές, εννοίες, να πέσει και κορυφές, να πέσει και κορυφές, να πέσει και κορυφές, εννοίες.
The Adrestia was built to survive the worst storms and the toughest battles, but she was meant to sail on waters as glorious as this. will be without.
Prepare to board! Follow me and make them pay!
Someone save me! Someone help me!
There's much to do, and many unknowns on our horizon.
Faster! Sails down!
Hey! Looks like something valuable! We're getting awfully close. Should be ready for a fight.
Lower the oars! Now!
Well aimed!
Shoot!
Watch those fire arrows!
Increase speed! Archers, get ready!
Anti-travel!
Shoot when ready!
We rule with chaos and destroy those who oppose us.
The fight is only over when I am the last man left standing.
One half without the other is nothing at all. I have nothing left to lose.
Empty words are best left unsaid.
The stories will tell of how I killed Poseidon with his own trident and threw his fucking head to the sharks.
I will be a son to Cosmos, and the cult will be my family.
The Greek world bows to us. We are the new gods.
When deciding where our loyalties lie, we must consider the end.
Slaves understand you better when you carve your rules into the backs of their heads.
What's one life worth without 1,000 others behind it?
The cult is nothing without me. Even the gods cower in my wake. Kneel or die.
Who needs democracy when Thrakmi rules the world?
Cosmos demands to know the secrets hiding in the hearts of men. So I simply cut them open.
vessels, Commander! Commander, away! Everyone at ease!
I'm free! How can I ever repay you? I can't repay you, so I won't shout.
Racy. Oh my god. Pop, 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 pop. Ah, ah.
Darkness. Ever my friend.
Forge activated. Synchronizing retransmission